Hello there, chat. How you doing? I honestly usually have no idea what to put in those intro videos, so I just kind of put things randomly in there. Sometimes it's not themed. I was thinking about something mafia themed, considering today's topic is about the Capo, you know, one of those enforcer types for the mafia. The mafia, which is the former VT Rainbow of Marina fame. And today we're going to be taking a look at one of these enforcers, one of these people that goes out of their way to defend Marina at every single occasion, and also go after other people who dare question what Marina was up to all of these fucking months, and ever since VTuber Rainbow came into existence. But before we get into that, I need some music. I cannot go on without my fucking music. So hold on. Let's get some lo-fi beats up in here, and then we can talk about it. Okay, I think we're ready to go balls deep into this one. But before that, I think I owe some new people, if there are any. Like what the hell is this whole thing actually about, and how is this relevant like anything? Well, the Marina drama has been going on for months now, and this is like what, part 3 of that. It's just that recently some new information came out about one of Marina's closest associates, or at least he seems to be one of those, because how deep of a connection he actually has to Marina, other than defending her for whatever reason, I do not know. I could probably go deeper into that, but it's kind of irrelevant. But they do go out of their way to defend Marina in all kinds of situations, even when it's not warranted, like, at all. And what I'm talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about VTuber editor extraordinaire, which is Silvyspark. You probably haven't heard about him, and I wouldn't blame you for that. The guy is kind of invisible, apart from his own circles and the people he harasses. So this is a very niche topic. Marina is already a pretty niche topic as far as VTuber drama goes, but this is even more niche. So much so that even though if the guy was called out by like several people, at least like 6 or 7 by my count, like no one really gave a fuck, and the dude can pretty much get away scot free, because apart from having no shame about what the guy does, and there also hasn't been enough outrage to quote unquote cancel him, because the people that are more left-leaning, usually the leftoid side of the VTuber sphere, is usually very prone to getting cancelled, and they aren't very immune to that. So once like the biggest stink about them is made public, they usually just kind of shrink away and disappear into nothingness, usually deleting their accounts or whatnot. The most common thing that they do is they go and get therapy, because that's apparently gonna help, as if you also believe that they actually went and got therapy. I kind of doubt that. It's just, you know, another way for them to escape accountability, because, you know, oh, my emotions were imbalanced. I was mentally unwell. Thus, I did all of these horrible things to all of these people. That's why I am striving to get better. I will be sure to go to the fucking doctor so they can fix my fucking brain, because I cannot help myself. I have to be a piece of shit to people because I have brain fucking problems. And Silvyspark is unfortunately not one of these people, because he kind of seems to be shameless about the things that he does. And we're gonna actually see how shameless he actually is, because the guy is responsible for a lot of things, and a lot of these things aren't even mentioned by the people that went after him. But I dug a little bit deeper, and by a little bit I do mean just a little bit, just a little deeper under the surface. There lies his sock puppet account, because the guy is known for making a very, very obvious sock puppet account that we're also going to be exploring today. And as with every stream that I do, this stream is also divided into arcs. Just 2 today though, because there isn't really all that much, despite being quite a lot of documentation about the guy. And most of the documentation is very recent too. So today's arcs as follows are, just let me get my cheat sheets here, because, you know, a little bit of preparation here and there never hurt anybody, especially not me, when it comes to these streams. So today's story of Marina's Capo is divided into the recent happenings with Silvyspark, as he got called out by a bunch of people, and a lot of people dropped like a quite the sizable document on his head, which I'm gonna be reading, and I know how fascinating that is. Me, my dyslexic ass is gonna be reading all of that. So strap yourself in, or don't. You can, if you're interested in this, you can just watch it later. You don't have to sit here live as I read this document by how many people? 1, 2, 3. At least 4 to 5 people that contributed to this one document, and then there's some other people on Twitter that this also decided to talk about this, because the guy has been around, and he's been up to a lot of different things. So we're going to be discussing those things, and then we're going to take a look at his sock puppet account called Fat Slovenian, on which he acts like the biggest tool possible. And with that, we'll conclude. And with the first thing, there's actually quite a lot of things to read through. But again, I will be giving you a little bit of leeway here, because this is like a continuation. So in case you're that interested in all of this, I recommend you go and watch the other Marina streams that I did, if you actually have the time for that, because I understand not everyone wants to watch micro VTuber celebrity drama, even though it's quite egregious, even though it deals with quite the serious stuff, like hosting VR chat sex orgies with potential alleged minors in them. That's one of the things I discussed on my last Marina stream. But this stream is gonna be less about Marina and more about the Sylvie asshole and how he behaves with some of the people that he encountered. So let me get those screenshots up, and then we can talk about it. So another preface to this. Silvyspark is one of those very left-leaning, very ID poll related VTubers and editors. He's around a lot of very left-leaning VTubers out there, like Kimrai or Simrai or whatever you want to call her. He does like edits. What those edits actually fucking are, I do not know. I never really found any of his work that's relevant to the people he edits for. I kind of imagine he just clips people and provides subtitles. I didn't look very deep into that one because that's less relevant to anything else. And if you've been on Twitter for the last like year or so, you might have seen him contribute to the Hogwarts Legacy VTuber drama. And he was very outspoken about people playing that game and how evil they were because you know, not listening to quote-unquote trans voices. This game literally hurts these people, and everyone's terrible. He also went after Silvervale and after False ID for whatever fucking reason. The guy just really likes to start fights with people on Twitter, but he's too much of a coward to do most of that stuff on his main account as Silvyspark, so he goes on Fat Slovenian in order to start shit with people. His usual modus operandi is gaslight, pretend he's retarded. But then again, I don't think he has to pretend he's retarded. I think he genuinely is, because only a person that's not very smart can make such an obvious sock puppet account that just links back to you very, very easily. But yeah, this is the guy, and he's also predominantly one of the biggest Marina defenders. Why the fuck is he a Marina defender? I don't know. I would have to see their personal chats to see what kind of relationship, in-depth relationship they have. And why is he a capo, you may ask? Why is he not like a right-hand man? Because, you know, mafia families like have this you know, there's I wouldn't say tiers of importance, but there's like a hierarchy to it. So at the top sits the boss, sits the don. So that, in this case, that would be Marina, and below that is like the advisor, the main advisor of the family that usually takes care of the legitimate side of the business, which is consigliere, as they call him. So with that would probably be Marina's partner in crime, you can even say, because Marina and cronies are involved in not I wouldn't even say illegal, but just very shady stuff, and just using people left and right in order to get ahead. And let's not talk about the abuse. All the potentially illegal stuff that I mentioned is all alleged, but there's so many people that have corroborated that stuff that I talked about last time. It kind of, you know, begs the question of how much is real and how much isn't. But yeah, that is. And why is Silvyspark kind of lower? Like, he's not a soldier. He's not one of the muscle, even though he probably thinks he's one of the muscle. Why is he a capo? Well, because he organizes these gay ops that involve his sock puppet account, and then, you know, just outright gaslighting people into his way of thinking. But we're gonna take a look at all of that, and I get my tweets up. So without further ado, let's take a look at that stuff. Hold on. First, let me make sure I actually have something to drink, because there's gonna be a lot of ringing. It's gonna be a lot of reading, unfortunately for me. So yeah, more recently, like a few days ago, a document got dropped on Silvyspark's head that documents all of his abuse and how he behaves towards people. And this was dropped initially by Cobra Overdrive. So let's read that. I never thought I'd have to share on Twitter a doc calling out someone's awful behavior, but I'm doing this as I believe it's the right thing to do. Please read the doc attached detailing Silvyspark's awful behavior. And we're gonna take a look at all of this because it's pretty extensive. On Silvyspark's behavior and harassment intro. My name is Cobra_Overdrive. I'm writing this document with the intention to support other claims of harassment and general reprehensible behavior from Silvyspark. For this, I talked with a variety of people who have seen the worst aspect of his repeated behavior and suffered because of it. Putting their experiences in this document is the most unbiased way possible. Other than, stringing the guy along by his balls and dragging him through the town square. I think that would be a very apt way to deal with him, but that's just me. I wish I could share more experiences than what I will find in this document, personal and of other people who have been hurt by him. As I'm respecting people's wishes to not get involved, I shall refrain from doing so. Mimu Tekenku. This part of the document is a retelling of what Mimu shared with me through Discord messages. I was given a consent to speak on her behalf and share the experience with Sylvie, and to quote her, I do not mind, I want to be heard, I want people to finally listen. Mimu started interacting with Sylvie back in 2020 while they worked together alongside Kumbum. Unfortunate name, but they're one of the star people involved in this. Eventually becoming friends in 2021, and during this time, she suffered such harassment that led her to not being able to take care of herself. The first time Sylvie hurt Mimu's feelings was during a Christmas event held in 2021, for which she was asked to sing a holiday song that he would later edit to make sure the audio was good. He would go on to edit her recording while in VC that had both of them and a few other people hanging out in. And at one point proceeded to repeatedly play the same portion in which she sang off-key for everyone to listen and laugh. While Mimu didn't feel comfortable at the time to mention how she was hurt, this did lead to her feeling uncomfortable while singing in front of people to this day. In a separate instance, Mimu shared personal information about her relationship with Sylvie, trusting him to keep it to himself. She would then find out that he actually told his ex, who then spread the information to other people. It was a total break of trust and forced her to have open up a personal aspect of her life to individuals that had no reason to know this. The most impactful exchange between Mimu and Sylvie happened while they were both working in Kanbom's Lofsen show, a project for which she was asked to help in a casual way. Sylvie was in charge of explaining to Mimu how to manage the Excel spreadsheet that was used to allocate time for people that were participating in the event and for those donating. Even though she was able to perform her task without issue, the event suffered some technical issues that were out of her control. A solution was offered by the team, but Sylvie found it to be not being up to standard he wanted to enforce. Something that he wasn't asked to do, nor expected from people participating. To make matters worse, he went on to talk down, verbally berate the team to the point of making Mimu cry. And I know how all of this sounds like, things that people would normally deal with in private, and to some extent you may think this is also childish, but there's other things that the dude has also done. He's just really a huge fucking pest, if you want to summarize him as such, thus forcing the people in charge to get involved as to avoid further harassment. Mimu's experience shows how Sylvie is okay with breaking his friends' trust and how he will hold them to a standard that ends up being harmful to them. Lord Unicrown. This section will consist of Unicrown's message copied straight from our Discord chat, with any editing done from formatting purposes or to add context. There's a lot of issues that I've seen come from him. I safely say that him acting like that is not a surprise. It's very similar to actions I've seen him try with others. From my personal experience, it started a few years ago, about a month or two into my relationship with Lethal. He began going to voice calls with her and people we considered friends at the time. I believe it was a Blushy server. From there, he would tell people, and I quote, Uni could only think with his dick and KB would steal him away. People ended up saying that some information to Lethal, to the point she was having panic attacks and severe trust issues from a previous relationship. Me and her ended up talking things through over several hours, including finding out he was intentionally spreading misinformation as vengeance for some self-perceived slight. When Lethal confronted him for all of these lies, he accused her of siding with abusers. That's usually what he does, part of his gaslighting tactics. When she's a victim of that from the past and knowing full well. From there, I ended up having to threaten to share all of the DMs he sent that I showed who he truly was, just to get him to stop harassing us. From then on, you saw the rest with our conversations in the mod chat, with it shutting him down when he would be intolerable. In the section of this document dedicated to screenshots, you'll be able to find Unicrown's response to the actions referenced in the excerpt above. I like to point out for these reading that this is one of the several instances in which Sylvie was willing to spread misinformation with the sole purpose to cause emotional harm to people and to make matters worse. Once he was confronted about his lies, he decided that the best approach was to blame a victim of abuse in a way that painted him as the one with moral superiority. And guess what? Because he wasn't silent on any of this, and he did actually respond to this document, and he did the exact same thing that this person here describes, which is victim blaming, and then he painted himself as the good guy in this situation, and how caring and awesome he is. Funnily enough, as his alter ego, as his sock puppet, the fat Slovenian, the guy also went after me when I still had my Twitter account, and I'll tell you what the hell that was once we actually get to that portion, because there's some excerpts where he actually talks about me too, so you're gonna see that. But let's continue with what some other people have to say. This is Kumbom's account. This section of the document is what I believe to be the one of the better that better encapsulates all of the Sylvie's worst attitudes and behaviors. And as Kumbom's, I'm not gonna call this person Kumbom. That's kind of silly. So Kumbom it is. Kumbom's retelling of events copied verbatim from the messages she sent. Any editing done is for formatting purposes or to add context. Trigger warning: mention of sexual abuse. So what I'm going to do is write out pretty much from start to finish the past of me and Sylvie. It'll be long, and I'll include evidence for each aspect that I can and for the document. I just want to lay out what the situation is with him. I was scared to ever come out with this because of his connections with big companies and VTubers. I didn't want to take that chance, but I'm done hiding. He's hurting too many people. Me and Sylvie met back when I started my VTubing career and would come frequently in my chat. We eventually became friends to best friends, then to lovers. We were involved in an open, polygamous relationship. Oh boy. That always spells fun times. A relationship in November 2020, which he agreed to with my ex, who is also later my rapist. Well, this escalated quickly. Sylvie would always praise me, say I was the best thing to happen in his life. He was very smothering. He would constantly dump his issues onto me, making me feel so overwhelmed dealing with my other partner who was abusive. I felt like his therapist, and I couldn't just have fun with him. It's always about him. During the relationship, I messed up on things, sure, I didn't tell him about being interested in one of my mutual friends. We're in an open relationship, but I digress. I should have been mature and communicate. He was going through a lot of issues at the time and I wanted to wait to discuss. But that is 100% my fault and I will accept that. I will slowly distance myself from Sylvie and I didn't want to be around him as much. It drained me of the remaining sanity I had, and I eventually left him in late February/early March of 2021. Because of my ex at the time said he wasn't healthy for me. The one thing he was right about. Well, isn't that fantastic that you have to agree with your rapist that the other guy is bad? It's kind of a low bar set here. Sylvie's behavior, I guess. Sylvie, after this went on a smear campaign behind my back. He claims I emotionally abused him. So I distanced myself from him when he needed me the most. Told him he needed therapy during our relationship, but he just refused to get help. And during an argument, he claims I said, "Oh, I'm only with you for sex." But in reality, I said, "You give me things that Abel, my ex, can give me. For example, you're better at sexual things and you have the time for me." But he twisted my words and is running with it. I'm not sure how much of this is actually needed to be shared in this document, but I guess if they're already talking, they're talking. Now, me and Sylvie made up in late March, as we both still wanted to be friends. In April 2021, I was raped by my partner. I messaged Sylvie, crying my eyes out, locked in my bedroom away from my ex. He was the first person I told what happened to me. Oh, there's a police siren outside for some reason. Very timely. But let's continue. I told him in confidence what Abel did to me, and he goes behind my back without my knowledge and comforts Abel. Telling him he loves him and cares about him still. I was just assaulted and he stabbed me in the back. I had no knowledge of this until Abel told me, showing me the messages. I felt so sick to my stomach. I threw up on the spot. I didn't know how to process this information. I just felt so betrayed. But internally I forgave him because he was just trying to comfort Abel, who was mentally ill. I think you guys have a bigger problem. I mean, the rape is like at the forefront of it. That's probably the biggest problem, but you all seem very mentally ill here. Jesus. So I let it go back in the back of my head, but it severely traumatized me. Sylvie was working with me on my Discord, Loven's, or was it Lovesense, vibrator shows since January 2021 or so. Was the editor and head mod. He would constantly berate my staff, calling them idiots and that they don't deserve this job. I approached Sylvie and he apologized, but he still continued being an ass to my staff. Eventually I had enough after learning he was talking shit about me behind my back. One of our friends, who was an ex-employee for the show, telling them confidential information from the show, such as monetary numbers, internal discourse, etc., saying things like, "I'm getting what I deserve and she doesn't pay her staff enough." I paid my time masters $15 an hour for 3 to 5 hour single workday twice a month. He threw a tantrum when I told him he wasn't going to edit the latest VOD, and then I had enough and booted him without informing him ASAP. Was that mature? No, but I just didn't want to deal with him at the time. I was done. That's when our ties are cut. He eventually comes back around my life when his ex, a fellow not safe for work voice actor or actress, I don't know, was booted from a voice acting server that I moderated in after she committed a felony crime of recording client during a sex call. Okay, that's a she then. But yeah, these people are very special. Then to hosting a watch party while drunk with her friends to mock the poor guy, revenge porn. Sylvie approaches me asking me what she did wrong and said and she didn't deserve this ban. Even after I told him what she did, he says, and she's sorry and was drunk. He proceeds to get pissy with me and the other mods for doing their jobs. And that's when he starts a second slander campaign against me, telling everyone in every server, people who don't even know me or our dirty laundry, how terrible of a person I am and not to work with me. That's when he starts telling all of these VTubers not to work with me and approaches everyone I collaborate with. Me and him talked after I approached him about it, and I accepted all my faults, let him berate me and insult me. I apologized for my actions during our relationship and anything that hurt him. He then says, "Don't worry, we're good now," and starts joking around with me like it's all good again. But what he said severely hurt me. But I thought this was for the best. Oh boy, was I wrong. He would talk shit about me, say super misogynistic things behind my back, talking about my relationships and love life. Even stalked me to find out new information about my doings or whereabouts. He knew the name of the man I was seeing at the time, and I didn't tell anyone but my close friends about him. It horrified me. I felt like I couldn't trust any of my friends anymore. He then tried to use me to take down other VAs asking for information from the server I moderate for. Only talking to me when he needed something. Then my close friend Lethal caught wind he was talking shit about me in another server in voice call. Lethal informed me what he said and did. I approached Sylvie again, saying, "I thought we were made up, what's going on?" He then proceeds to go into Lethal's DMs and calls them an abuser, apologizer / protector for telling me what he said about me. Uni, her partner, let him have it after that, threatening him to leave her to fuck alone, or everything he said about me to Uni will be publicly broadcasted. See the Lord Unicrown section of the doc for additional details, which we already read. That was the final straw. We talked, I kept it primarily professional. But after that, that's when I said we're officially done, and I want you out of my life. Now, to this day, he goes into people's DMs they hang out with, collaborate with, people who doesn't even know me. 3 years later, with a 3-month relationship, trying to smear me to the VTubing community so nobody will give me the time of the day. I'm done with this and your misogynistic, cynical comments about myself and my character behind my back. I've talked to lawyers because of his Canadian citizenship, oh boy, and hidden behind the scenes slender. It made it more difficult to go the complete legal route, which I was counting on to get this to cease. Not to mention how expensive lawyers are here in the US just for single-hour phone calls. He claims his warning is just for others' safety. No, it's malicious. He doesn't care about others but himself and his vendetta. Funny we're getting Italian words. Vendetta. I'm no angel by any means. Definitely messed up in areas I wish I could redo. But harassment and beratement, 3 years straight, has to stop. Please leave me alone and others you're harassing alone. Closing statement. When I first reached out to certain people about writing this document, it was never my intention to spend 3 months working on it. But the more I talked with them, the more awful behavior and trauma would come up. But to refrain from sharing statements that are filled with so much pain for the sake of keeping this focus on the deplorable actions of Sylvie. Conversations in which the people involved just bared all in front of someone who bothered to offer them the chance to speak and help them. At the end of the day, like everyone who reads this, to take away 2 things. First and foremost, Sylvie is not someone who cares about those he sees it beneath him. He will only respect you for as long as you are of use to him. So please take the information you've been provided either in this document or in other people's statements about his behavior and make an informed decision now that the patterns have been laid out in front of you. Secondly, I recognize everyone not to feel afraid to reach out and help others. I had bothered to seriously think about Sylvie for about a year. I was done with him and the harm he caused to my friends. Yet, when I saw someone being harassed by him, I didn't think twice about reaching out to offer a hand. I can lose a lot and risk harassment by coming out with this, same as the people above. Yet I did it anyway because it's the right thing to do. Thank you for your time and have a good day. And here's the screenshots of all of their conversations. I don't know if we're going to be reading through all of those because there's a lot of them. And all of these just pretty much provide context for what was said in the document. You see there's annotations here to all of them, like all of them referencing to particular screenshots here. It's pretty much them having a conversation about all of this. So I'm gonna skip a lot of these, so you have to forgive me on that one. But you've seen where the document is, and if you're so inclined, you can later rewatch the stream and pick apart the screenshots that you want to see. But anyway, it's probably easier to just go and see the document for yourself, and if you're interested in these screenshots. So you know, just to be fair, that no context is being omitted for any particular reason. Just to, you know, to be fair, even though this himbo, as he calls himself, doesn't probably deserve that much from me or anyone else. But yeah, so I'm gonna just skim through all of these. Because they had a lot of conversations about this shit. But here's Lord Unicrown's statement from actual Discord conversation, so I'm gonna read that one at least. There's a lot of issues that have been seen come from him, but I can safely say that him acting like this is not a surprise. It's very similar to action I've seen him try in the last with others. From my personal experience, I started a few years ago, about a month or two into my relationship with Lethal. We began going to VCs and people who we consider friends. At the time, I believe it was Blush's server. I already read this one. I just now realized it's just pretty much the same thing that was at the beginning of the document. So I guess this is safe to skip as well. But here's Sylvie talking to Lethal. We have a quick minute to chat, via text I mean. Sure, my replies will be slow though, what's up? I want to know why you felt need to talk to KB about how I spoke to people about the abuse she put me through in voice call. Wait, hold up, what are you talking about? If you hear stuff about someone, go to that person and hear their side. Please, it goes a long way sometimes. Don't settle and trust every word you hear. Talk to each other and be adults. So as you can see here, Sylvie has receipts. He has the screenshots. According to KB, you told her about how me and a few others were in a voice call talking about our experiences with her. KB is going into people's DMs who were in that call and confronting them. Well, no, I mentioned to a few people that someone spread information that led to them telling me that KB was going to steal Uni away because he only thinks with his dick. I don't know where you got this, but this has nothing to do with me. I'm a bit confused where you're hearing all of this from. You literally ratted about abuse victims. I was in the call and I can tell you for certain that people weren't saying, as far as I can tell, that she wasn't going to try and steal Uni from you because he only thinks with his dick. A lot of people who were there were very much respect Uni well enough to know he's much better than that. I do recall it being mentioned she saw him as nothing more than a dick while they were friends with benefits. God damn, these people need to get a clue. When she decided to be that with him within the first week of me and her dating, and she never told me. I remember that call being about KB's toxic behavior, and of which to me is now enforced to show she hasn't changed. God damn. Let me just double check with my source, because they told me they were confronted by KB and it wasn't about Uni. It was about what was said in the voice call. Alright, so double checking, she did state that you told her what went down. Did you name drop anyone when you approached her? Oh, all I told KB was the stuff where people were in the context of telling me to be careful due to KB and Uni's past, where KB's stuff was mentioned. They brought up stuff and I wanted to talk about her to get the story straight. Since I was worried about these rumors, she asked me who is was, and I was honest. She was confronted them on her own to understand the situation better, probably. This is so much gossip. I can't believe that adults would do this. And then it just goes on and on. And then Lord Unicrown decided to pitch in. Now I'm going to say this once and only. Do not respond or show any people how you've acted with me about KB. And you know that a lot of that is nothing but red flags. You do not speak to my lady like that. Oh boy. This is getting very, very silly. You do not corner her in DMs like that after failing to get me to speak to you about it. You do not accuse her of helping abusers when all she did was ask for clarification. She told me about how multiple people told her I can't be trusted because I only think with my dick, and that KB would be the one to steal me away. Don't think about saying that that didn't happen. It was a week ago. I have people confirming it happened. You weren't there. Don't tell people you were. I'm pretty damn sure there are only about 5 to 6 people who would even know about someone's last in a relationship. I don't care who anyone is, the smallest ant or the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. No one decides to accuse my lady by projecting their frustration and past actions on her. Don't answer this right now. I don't want to hear from you, milady. I know I shouldn't be laughing at this, but this is kind of silly. It really is. I don't want to say that all of these people deserve one another, but in some sense they probably do. And then, you know, there's more back and forth about their relationship stuff. Again, you can view all of that on your own. But as you can see from this, the guy is very, very concerned about looking like the good guy in every single situation he finds himself in. Even if he's like not directly involved, when he smells blood, he's like a shark. He just swims over it, just take a bite at it. We had so many conversations about this stuff. So many screenshots about this too. And from what I can tell here, Lord Unicrown himself was even shit-talking people. So yeah, I guess my statement about them deserving one another is more true than I thought. I saw all the people who've talked shit about me on October 25th to the 27th. I'm not sitting right with me. You can sit here, tell me all about the hurt you went through. I have right here you disclosing private show info. People not even staffed anymore, which was against it was general professionalism and the rules. It's more than that. Your your vendetta. It's a vendetta. And here's Sylvie responding to this. I've saw the people who've talked the shit about me with an October 25th, 27th. It's not sitting right with me. You can sit here. Only it was about the hurt you went through when I was right here. You disclosing private information, and then he just quotes her. If by private show info you mean me talking, god damn, it's hidden. What the pay was or my past experiences, then yeah, I guess that's unprofessional. What a shit show, and it just gets worse. I see someone calling him the wannabe Kinnikuman character. I guess he kind of is. I've read Kinnikuman before, but forgot the names of all of these characters. But he does look like the one with the mask on. I don't remember what the character was called though. It was so long ago that I read it. I don't know if the guy is a fan or anything, but he sees himself as a himbo sort of character. Also very muscled. And then there's him shit-talking people to other people. Don't ask how or why I came across this, but I noticed you did some stuff with Kumbom a few weeks ago. Put it briefly, she's my extremely abusive ex. I say abusive, I mean like genuine sick mental shit. I don't know if you guys do anything often, if at all, but it felt like it giving you heads up to be careful around her. She did a ton of manipulating on us in the not safe for work VA scene in order to get a bunch of free stuff in return. God damn. I'm not trying to say who you can and can't collaborate with at all. It just didn't sit right with me to see that and at least not reach out, give a warning. And then he just continued to shit talk her to other people. One of these people is just outright redacted. Some of these conversations are kind of less relevant than others, but since they decided to put everything together, they just put everything together for whatever reason. Here's them reporting on one another and someone telling KB what Sylvie's been talking about her. So I bet Silver had said I am fair share stuff to you about me in redacted mod stuff, right? If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. Oh, so much. Lord have mercy. What has he said? That I'm an abuser, right? Also a tad bit. He was the first person I told about being raped when he went to my rapist and asked if it was okay that he cared about him only like a week or so later. Well, based on the situation, I know you and Abel were a thing. You and Silver hang out. You and Silver became a thing. You and Silver and Abel were a polyamorous thing. Those moments where you and Silver had a falling out eventually led to a breakup where he felt neglected and don't exactly remember the full details. Yeah, they just included everything but the kitchen sink in this. And there's his semi-naked model. This will pass through YouTube censors. Sylvie didn't have access to a separate doc shared in the Not Safe for Work VA server, different to the publicly available one. So he reached out to KB to request more info than what he already been shared. And here's lastly, after going through this document, we go through other people's accounts, not just the ones in the document. Because upon seeing that call out, there were other people that had encounters with Sylvie, and we're gonna read through those too. Funny situation, I was in a mutual server used for various things. He was constantly there. I had a tweet pop up that was an opinion piece. He didn't like it very much, so much so that he verbally berated me in the voice call. He continued to slander me to my own friends. Similar behavior from the document was displayed. He would consistently badmouth one of his employers within the scene, behind her back to several people while she was active in the server. He's probably referring to KB here, based on everything that we've just learned. Even after being told to stop. He also would send pornographic illustrations of himself, character, without warning or content filter, to mutuals and close friends. Plenty of mutuals can back these claims, even addressed it with the server owner. This dude slid in my DMs after us not talking for easily a year just to reprimand me for publicly saying Marina's behavior during the TOS change sucked. We're talking about the Twitch thing, if you guys don't know. Our conversation devolved into him invalidating VTuber Rainbow here members and their experiences. Whack. Dude was an absolute dick to me. He hated the fact that I didn't overcharge people for my service and would always shit on me for not using the same things as him. I am a good friend of KB, who was there before she even became a not safe for work voice actress. I think he hated that and just targeted me. And here's KB quote retweeting the Cobra Overdrive initial document reveal thread. I hate this is happening, but enough is enough. Sylvie, please stop harassing me and my friends. For 3 years, I had to deal with you slandering me, my name to my friends, peers, and people who didn't even know me. You've caused me so much pain and suffering to myself and my relationships and my career. I just wanted you to leave me alone. Keep my name out of your mouth. I've lost friends, work opportunities. For years, I've been afraid of who's my friend, who isn't because of your reach. I've been afraid to reach out to VTubers because even my best friend got a message from you, warning them about me. My husband had to deal with nights of me with the mental turmoil. I wanted to stop. All of this made me consider ending my career to get away from the stress and you. Please, I know you're a good person underneath all of this, but there is just too many people you're harming. And see, this is the main fucking problem. These people give each other the benefit of the doubt, or just are incredibly too much benefit of the doubt, or are just incredibly bad judges of character. Does a person who did all of this seem like a good guy underneath, or a piece of shit? I very much doubt this person's opinion. I guess she knows Sylvie more on the personal front more than I did, but everything I know, everything I've learned about this guy, and everything I've been personally exposed to, because again, I have to remind you that he did interact with me, and he did talk shit about me too on his sock puppet account. So I have my own personal feelings about this too. But yeah, I don't think that's what would you describe as a good person underneath by any means. So nope, I do not think so. Even though you sided with my rapist and comforted him, I still cared about you. Yeah, that part should probably give you a few hints there that you know. I don't think a good person would side with anyone's rapist. It doesn't matter if you know them or not. Siding with a rapist is an instant game over when it comes to social acceptance, especially on a place like Twitter. I still wanted you in my life, but nowadays you've changed into something so cynical and horrible. I wish I never met you. Also, if you want to stay friends with him, do what you feel is right. He doesn't deserve to be completely abandoned. I will not view you any different. I want to isolate him, just want him to get better and leave me alone. What is this person's fucking problem? And now you're batting for the rapist, or am I reading this wrong? Because it really seems that way. That's retarded. This person has an incredibly low self-esteem, or I don't know what. I don't have any other way to describe it. Just seems very mentally ill to me. The reason why I did my apology screenshots in the document is so I can show I have apologized for my actions. I am a person who values apologizing when someone is upset. I want to try to salvage our friendship. I don't want it taken out of context against me. And there's more people. Hey, I usually stay out of these things, but Sylvie has a track record of being a terrible person behind the scenes. He's one of the many that put a front online to appear wonderful when he isn't. He has harassed so many friends of mine and me. He's a manipulative bully. I was in a Discord with him. He would constantly shit talk other creators, his clients, be insanely aggressive, will send unsolicited, not safe for work to people. I've been very fortunate that 2 friends who invited me to that server protected me from most of it, but I left due to him. The only reason I never spoke until now is because he and others would brag about how they could get people they didn't know, like blacklisted, and how well connected they were to bigger creators. I couldn't stomach that stress and pressure, and so I just hoped someone would say it. See, their connections here, the people they talk about here, is probably Tagahata and his fucking crew. Kimrai and Simrai is part of that crew too, or they're at least like tangentially friends. I don't know if they're a part of this whole big Marina cabal, but Sylvie in particular is one of these people that just acts as this enforcer, and as you've seen already from all of these accounts by all of these people, just constantly goes after people that either went after Marina, or just simply because he has problems with them. So just constantly shit talk these people to these very well connected VTubers that he knows apparently. So I can imagine he just talks to them because he's an editor, quote unquote, for a lot of these people. And then, you know, he didn't stay quiet about it. Upon seeing the document, he said this: tomorrow will be an interesting stream. Mind you, he didn't stream about it because he's a coward, but instead he dropped the document later. I've considered writing it, but I want to talk more at length about it too, especially since revisiting these old conversations is making me remember a lot. Yep, discussing this, right? Them linking to that document. Yeah, good. Got a lot of apologizing to do, bub. And in case you don't remember, another person that was involved in all of this that was also harassed by not only Sylvie but predominantly Marina, it was abusive to her, was Linux, that you may probably remember from the last stream I did on Marina. Linux had a lot to say about VT Rainbow and what was going on inside of it. I will not be reiterating it on this stream because there's a lot of it was said. And watch that stream if you're that interested. Less so editing classes, but more me giving constructive feedback on your already existing skills. And then, you know, they decided to call him out constantly because of the thread that was dropped. Yeah, constructive quotation marks. I'm aware of this document. I will be making a response. I'd highly recommend reading the screenshots provided because some actually already debunk the claims made in it. You realize in your own comment by trying to say some debunk, you acknowledge that whatever other ones are left do make you look like an ass. If they're just true as the people who are saying they are, whatever your response is, I want to hear you apologize. To hear your apologies. And then more people quote retweeting him. You're a genuine monster. To all my friends and followers that still follow this guy and work with him, unfollow at /Silvyspark immediately. You have abused and harassed my friends for years, and countless others have spoken out against you. Do us all a favor and quit editing and get some help. Well, I'm writing a response to the document, considering all of it is false and lacks proper context, including a part where I asked for a document that exposed the pedo voice actor or actress. And then there's Lord Unicrown again talking about it. After everything, I'm done with Silvyspark. He made me into a better person. It's only through the help of my girlfriend and therapy that I was able to accept what he manipulated me into. He kept saying I'm a real friend of his to people. I'm no friend of yours. There is much more than he has done to many more people, myself included. There are things I just didn't feel comfortable sharing and opening up about. I'm not saying this is a VTuber or anyone special, just someone who suffered by him. Do not trust Silvyspark. And then he finally dropped that document. This is my response to the document that's been spreading about myself. In it, I should detail my side, the abuse I experienced from Humbum, and adding further context and accountability upon myself. And mind you, this is how it looked like before. Like 11 retweets, a lot of them quote retweets, and 57 likes. Didn't change much since that time. This screenshot was taken on the 26th, which was, a couple of days ago. So again, people didn't give a shit about him and what he had to say. And this is partially also why he's just gonna keep escaping accountability, because not many people are actually outraged by his actions. But let's continue. The TLDR, my relationship with KB was toxic in many ways. We couldn't communicate well. I was too scared to express my feelings, and when there was a misunderstanding, things were taken to the extreme. I once again do apologize to Mimu and Lethal for how I went about talking to them. I've grown since then. I take ownership of my actions and detailed in the document here. I was gonna stream this topic today, however, after I got a reply stating the document response would have been better, and after composing myself, I have decided to write the full document. I'll likely do a stream later this week. And here's the document. We're gonna read that shit too. To be fair, again, even though he doesn't really deserve that. It's just gonna expose more of his character, if that's the context that you require still. This is a written response to a document posted on the February 25th, in which I was accused of various things including harassment, misogyny, and poor behavior. I want to apologize firstly for this response is taking me a bit, and take my time composing myself first and gathering needed evidence to verify my side of what happened and what context was removed from the original document. I've gone ahead and censored the names of people who have been mentioned in the previous document, nor creators who do not need to be name dropped, unless they publicly announce it themselves, such as Podge has. All screenshots will be available here and will in order they appear in the document. I want to respond to Mimu part first to try to be direct about each claim or statement made towards me. It's a way for myself to stay as focused as well. He's incredibly narcissistic, as if you can tell by this. It's me, my side of the story. I want to be focused, I want to be this and that. But let's continue, in case you haven't noticed. I don't really have much to say here since there's no evidence provided. I would reach out to Mimu from time to time for advice and talk to her. However, I haven't spoken to or Mimu since 2022. I remember this call, and it wasn't me mocking her. No, back in 2021 I was asked to mix several music tracks for a Christmas special event. I'm not the best music mixer, but I took the job regardless. One of the main issues with this was the fact that not everyone had quality microphones and/or audio spaces. Like I recall specifically one person using a headset mic for singing. Mimu, I believe, was using a Blue Yeti mic, which is my own experience, not a mic that's good for singing. It makes the process of mixing the audio for this job very challenging because an extremely limited range for what you can do to tweak. I recall showing people in the voice call the job, the majority of whom were involved with the project so far, because I want to express why it was taking longer than expected, especially when some people needed to re-record due to missing lyrics, the cue times being off during duets, and other audio technical issues. The laughter might have been from me when I showed people I used the text-to-speech voice for my own verses in the 12 Days of Christmas part, and I was on extreme time crunch to get everything done on time. And I thought it would have been funny for a text-to-speech bot from Google Translate to be used for my verses. Regardless, though, if that's what Mimu thought happened, was deeply apologized for that. Full respect for Mimu's singing ability, as was told prior to getting the tracks that she was a jazz singer, which is a difficult genre of music to sing for and takes talent. I genuinely don't know what's being referenced here. I know if I knew, I would apologize if that happened. In fact, I would apologize regardless because feelings aren't forgotten. I'm sorry, Mimo, and you didn't deserve to go through what you went through. In the screenshots, I know I apologized directly to Mimu after learning about how they felt. I was extremely harsh towards Mimu as the show was extremely stressful and I was very inexperienced during production teams at the time. I go into more detail about how messy the Lovens show was later on, but needless to say, it was one of the most stressful shows I've been involved with, to how much time management was required in multitasking. Poor baby. Even without how much more experienced I am now, the shows were very demanding and I got overwhelmed quite a lot. I don't recall the specifics of what I said, but I know I didn't call her idiot or anything of that nature. I usually call myself an idiot in those kinds of stressful situations. I know, however, I was too harsh on that show and I apologized after KB informed me. Since then, I've grown a lot in that environment, being the post-production supervisor of several short films and working on more sets in leadership roles. I say this now to describe how far I've come from the first show. I do question again bringing up harassment at the end. I didn't reach out to Mimu directly in DMs to be mad. I was in the VC during the show's stressful parts. And then there's a lot of more going on here. I never watched this at all. I never even really joined Blush's Discord voice call at all outside the collab. I'd be once in a while with other mutuals were there. Nor would I have a reason to say such comments. For context, Uni was one of my first close friends when I first got back into the content creation scene. He and I joined our friend's server at the same time, became mods for her around the same time. I would have often spent a lot of time in her voice calls. Our friendship got severed after the incident took place, which we'll discuss when we get there. However, I think the only times I joined Blush's Discord PCs was in the mutuals were there, or if it was for the collabs. So no, I didn't make those comments he's claiming, especially since it's not the kind of stuff I'd say in general. What prompted this comment? What's the context behind it? Why would I say KB would steal him away? This is the incident that I was referring to prior on January 17th from 2022. I received a DM from a user who I wish kept the name anonymous in the screenshot. I promised to keep his ID safe, and I did intend to hold on to the promise, even they would seemingly abandon me at the same time. They deleted their messages shortly after. However, my messages there left behind should help paint the picture of what happened. Let's actually read those this time around. Hi, what have you been up to recently? I've mostly been editing stuff for Johnny. You? I wish you best of luck there, my guy. I saw that. I'll say hardly. I'm not easy for me to move on after you get mentally abused by someone that said they loved you when they really didn't. Which conversation? Which was about? I don't remember. I don't because I'm working right now. Okay, but what about the conversation? What was the conversation about? Me saying that she abused me? Okay, well, she hasn't approached me yet. And if she comes to me complaining that I said she abused me, what I'm supposed to do? Lie to people? Say she gave me the same level of happiness back when I wanted to give it to her? That she genuinely loved me? I won't throw you under the bus if she tries to like paint herself less of a light than an abuser. I go public on Twitter, let other people know the shit she did to me. No. Hold up. I think I missed something from the left. Oh, there it is. This person reached out to me saying that my ex-girlfriend was emotionally abusive towards me, was coming after me. I was confused, and he would later go on to say that Lethal went to KB, tell her about what people were saying about her in voice calls. Himself and several other people I could name all would discuss bad experiences with KB and as friends when they had meetups. Whether it's her completely ignoring boundaries or becoming way too attached to people in a very short period of time. When you're told, hey, this person you know is going to your abuser to say what you told people, it will cause to think anyone who's experienced the emotional and mental trauma I did to panic or to have a traumatic experience to it. I went to Lethal DMs and lectured them under the guise what I was told. However, after being told by them, Yuni and KB, the person who DMs me's interpretation of what happened was not accurate. I did apologize to Lethal afterwards, as I did to KB. I'll take the moment to apologize to them both and Yuni this time, because I had been told differently. My response would have been different. Regardless of the tech, I'm accusing someone of ratting out victims without proof was not acceptable. I had no prior knowledge of Lethal's history, and I regret making those comments because purely of them being filled with anxiety and anger. In essence, long didn't read. I'm sorry I got caught, so I'm gonna preemptively apologize for good boy points. That's how I see it. The apology I sent to Lethal after learning the full details dated January 29th, 2022. I don't know what he's referencing here because I don't recall this issue spilling into mod chat. Again, this happened years ago, however, I feel like I would remember it coming up in mod chat or the streamer's Discord. So a lot of it is, again, sorry I got cut and nuh-uh. That's the document so far. I don't remember. I don't recall. This is not my personality and shit like that. Cobra, please provide me a piece of evidence that proves this claim. Genuinely, one of the things I noticed in this document is the lack of specific evidence of the various claims. A bunch of vague accusations without proof, yet you substituted with screenshots of something sorta close to what was being claimed. The only evidence you posted of Mimu's claim was my apology to them. You also assuming I know Lethal's history, which I never did at all and would never have reacted like I did if I did know. Trigger warning, going forward there will be mentions of sexual abuse from that point onward. I made KB on Twitter and Discord. We interacted several times, but things really took off when I made her sound effects pack while in collage of sounds she could use for audios for free. I did it because I wanted to show support to someone I like and would visit her chat, and even did a few free edits for her to get back into the mix of content editing. I even took part in collab with her for Gmod horror map. After a few weeks, she approached me with an offer to potentially try out a polyamorous relationship with her and her boyfriend at the time, mentioning she and her now ex done anything like this before. Neither had I, but they weren't sure about it either. Here's them talking about that sound effects pack. More of that. Even more of that. Admittedly, I shouldn't have accepted the offer, not because of what would happen later, but I didn't think any of us knew what being poly meant. This is them talking about getting into that polyamorous relationship, by the way. Always a bad idea. I was just eager to have someone that I could say I love me back in my life. I know there is number 2 or 3 in poly. It's not a ranking system at all, which partner ranks where. That should have been the first red flag. The screenshot provided was near the end of 2021, long after our friendship ended, long after the Mimo incident. In it, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but I was arguing for better pay for the staff of KB's show, and KB trying to harass me about one of my past partners. And here's all of that in case you want to read it later. This is where I felt reality of our relationship starts to alter in the document. Having taken the time to go through our past DMs, I really found the part where I brought out my issues and dumped it onto them. Likewise, I couldn't find much for KB in terms of issues dumping too much. There were a few times where she needs someone to vent to. And here's those venting conversations. Again, I'm not reading through all of these. If you want to see them later, you can read them in the original document that's still up by him. Or you can just go and see this part of the stream later if you wish to do so. Yes, she apparently attempted to make it so it's so that the creator and friend could not stream on days she was streaming on. She even told her directly. At the time, I thought this made sense. However, as I look back, this should have been another red flag. KB likes control. She likes to have control when she can, so she can feel the most comfortable. She also hyper fixated on this person a lot early in our relationship. As time went on, from friendship rivalry to more of a rivalry to where I'd say they are no longer friends. Apart from the other people he quote-unquote apologizes to, he really wants to paint KB here in the worst light possible. But again, I'm not inclined to believe a lot of his statements and that some things didn't happen. Because based on how he acted with other people and based on how he acts on his sock puppet account, I would say it's well within his personality to behave like a complete asshole to people, and that's an understatement. Because that's so much worse than just being an asshole. The thing she did more was bring up the other guys she was interested in, adding to the relationship. It took about less than a month's worth of time for there being potentially another guy added in as Lord Unicrown, while me and him were goofing around in our friends mod chat. Offhandedly stated that he and KB were friends with benefits. I was quite surprised by this and asked him further and started a group call with KB for clarification. In which her first response to me finding out was, "I told you not to tell him yet. This happened in voice call. There's in group chat. I believe it occurred in." She would reassure me that Uni was just a friend with benefits and not part of the main relationship. However, it wasn't long until she started mentioning other guys. I mean, if you're already in a relationship that's polyamorous, these things are gonna happen. So this is all kind of getting into the territory of a little bit of slut shaming, I guess, maybe. But who knows? This guy has a lot of up his sleeve. I still brought it into the relationship for a while and was even okay with her flirting and talking to these other guys, since after the Uni case she would communicate a bit more. It was up until she started getting upset at me for sharing pics I had already posted to Twitter with a friend. This was when I started to feel like I was sort of just a piece in a group. Communication is prime and important piece in a relationship, and we were learning. However, I guess throughout this experience I was learning it wasn't for me. KB wanted to add in several men, mostly just briefly mentioning them, but I wouldn't want to shoot her down because I thought that's just what Polly was. I was inexperienced and not informed. We never set consistent boundaries, and that isn't entirely on KB's behalf. Regardless, I increasingly began to feel less valued, like I was used up within the first 2 months, and the newer guys were KB's fixation. The other big example of why I started to feel more used was on Valentine's Day. KB was invited to join a couple's game night that brought me, but didn't because she wasn't sure. My heart had never sunk faster than reading that message. I was excited and was ready to be a part of something, only to not be able to join. The hard time finding an example of me dumping issues onto KB without them first being brought up by KB herself. To summarize the relationship, it was really fun the first month, but soured fast because the communication never improved. Boundaries weren't set consistently, and overall it just didn't work out for either of our mental health. Especially since this was what happened when I was flirting with another woman and expressed interest in them. I remember KB says we're in an open poly relationship. I had to basically apologize to her by being put on the spot. She had me going to a voice call. She'd be muted, and I would have to spill my heart out for her to forgive me. She would eventually forgive me because she calmed down and saw the misunderstanding that took place. However, the emotional stress this whole situation put me in was traumatizing, to say the least. You know how humiliating this is to be in that situation? A genuine misunderstanding leading to this kind of talking to each other. I want to firstly describe where my mental health was after the relationship ended. I was a wreck, to say the least. I would be crying every single night for a week, asking if I was good enough, could I have done something more. So much when I joined the voice call, I would have just broken down crying. I was dealing with a lot of college work at the time during the show, added to my own struggles, but it was not helping the matters, of course. Yes, I said you used me for sex and to fill the holes Abel couldn't, which is exactly how you described it to me in a voice call. In fact, the only time he asked me to seek therapy was in this exchange. Well, this one is actually a joke. Do you ever eat Cheetos with fork and knife? Please seek therapy. And for other things too. I also asked someone who was in one of the VCs about what they witnessed and what my mental health was like post this experience. I might not remember what I said specifically to Mimo. I might not remember what VC she was referring to, but the words you spoke to me will be forever stuck with me. I know we had anger management issues. I know we're working to improve on it, and maybe since this all happened, you've really improved. However, much like for Lethal and Mimo, doesn't take away from the pain you gave me. Oh, poor him. This is just straight up false. Yes, I was one of the first people she told me, and was there to support her for as long as I could stay awake, offering to send her money in order to get food so she could comfort herself. I'll be honest with you, I really don't care too much about their personal relationship stuff. A lot of this stuff could have been just handled privately and kind of didn't really need to be expanded upon. The only reason this is actually mentioning this document is one, because KB mentioned it herself first, I guess, and the second reason is that as long as he's already painting himself as the victim here, just might as well go all the fucking way. I didn't go over to him after and tell him I loved him at all. It was months later when I reached out to ask how he was and he was cared for, and whether it was a good call for not to debate. KB's ex suffered from a lot of mental health issues, a lot of family trauma. For the most part, went untreated. I felt that because she and him were still friends, I could reach out to him and ask how he was. He was with him committing suicide or spiraling further down the rabbit hole of hell. I didn't support her ex for what he did. I merely wanted to check in. what's also important in context. Let's see what's the important context here. This was really fucking tiny. Hold up. Thank you. I appreciate just figuring out my relationship with Abel, my new job, figuring out moving plans all over again, and keeping up with my voice work. I have no time to process what happened. We on friend terms. Mom is pressuring me already, finding someone else. Old-fashioned outlook. She says she loves him, but she says I shouldn't forgive what he did. My heart wants to, but my brain is screaming at me. Mind you, all of them are talking here about a guy that apparently raped this person, so I'm still not very sure how they are just kind of hand-waving a lot of that away. Like, not immediately cutting them out of the equation, instead of just giving them like a second, third, or even fourth chances. I do not understand how these people operate, and their mindset is like completely alien to me. How did they put themselves in these situations, and why do they keep getting in these situations? I do not know. Are they just, again, such poor judges of character, or are they just fucking this horny? Because I do understand like primal urges, and a lot of them probably think in those terms. So maybe, I don't know. It's all fucked up to me. I don't get what the screenshot used proves either. The context was saying that the people in the VCs said worse things about the situation. Should have DM'd her ex? No, I don't think I'd make the same decision again, but in my position, what the context provided, I thought it was, I can make mistakes too. It was bad call, my judgment. It wasn't moments later, it was more like months later. This is what I'd ask for those screenshots. I know all I said was I asked him how he was doing, and then he was cared for. I showed them myself. However, Abel's Twitter and Discord have since been deleted. In fact, I went to the deleted Discord to see what the last thing I said to him was. Congrats on the new job, my guy. I'm hoping this new job will help you with the benefits you deserve them. Made the day before the incident took place. I again would ask for proof of this comment because I 100% don't remember the context surrounding it. I know I was harsh on the staff, which I do apologize for, me being inexperienced in the role. However, I will defend myself when it comes to claims without evidence. This is when you need solid proof that was said, because the screenshots provided don't. Uni was one of the first people to join KB's show. When I asked him for an outsider's perspective, I meant someone outside of the discourse. Why do screenshots completely cut off? I say Mimu steps in. Well, keep confidential info private. This is what Uni said. This to me shows bad faith on the part of the creator of this document, on Uni and those who might have been aware of the full context. I won't show how much of the stream is made publicly to respect private info from being shared. However, the shows were very successful. So much so that $15 an hour for 5 hours barely made a dent. I said above that she was extremely stressful to operate. This was before the simplicity of nonsense today, where you can make a direct payment and get going. You'd have to keep track of buyers who they were in the Discord, send out those links, ensure KB and the girls on the streams didn't go over schedule. All the same time, we're basically operating a live broadcast on a small level. It was still extremely stressful and draining, especially when shows would go on for nearly 7 hours. So yes, I'd say pay your staff more than $15 an hour. KB has since our chat, but doesn't take away from the context was all the same at the time. I did not throw a tantrum about not being able to edit VODs which you attempted to undersell me for at first. For context, I would take screen recordings of the shows, put them through my Resolve to cut between audios. The job was easy, but rendering times often take hours, upwards of 3 4 hours per VOD. I asked to be paid for render time. KB protested, saying she'd never heard of that before, despite being a very common thing in the editing industry. She only wanted to pay me for the time I spent editing itself, which would often be 15 to 20 minutes of work. When my PC is rendering out VODs, I can do any work, such as school projects or even my own edits while it's going. So she wanted to pay me just $15 per video. Sure, this might have been saved money if we weren't making any. I was more frustrated to have the rug pulled out from under me when I came to jobs versus doing the job itself. Communication is important, as Uni said. Showed the conversation it was in the show Discord, and I didn't take the screenshots of it all at the time. I didn't think I'd need to. Hold up. She agreed to this rate, though thankfully about pushback from other staffers. Again, this is where evidence is bordered. Looking back at our conversation, it was more asking about why you weren't banning another VA, but not only dogs people, but even was a predatory towards other male VAs. I provided screenshots of her behavior, and you responded saying that while you get that, it was a whole mod team decision and for slandering as a VTuber. I told one person who has now confirmed they were Podge about my experience with you briefly, and said, "You do you. You just wanted to let you know." I even was open to the suggestion Podge made, which was people can change. However, history is important to remember. Outside of Podge, I only ever told one person. However, that was in regards to me saying I wasn't entirely comfortable if you were to collab. I'd be willing to do the work, but I want to express my discomfort and have it transparent. I won't say who, because that was years ago at this point. Now, frankly, you aren't really someone on my mind a lot anymore. Having you blocked and muted on Twitter helped with my healing process, and you've yet to be unblocked to this day. In fact, I had to go back and block you just for the screenshots. So many of this stuff. A lot of it is all personal relationship bullshit, which once again could have just been resolved in private, but social media nowadays just cannot do that. You have to air out all of the dirty laundry for unrelated third parties like myself to take a look at. She didn't remove me from the server because of the reason she said. She removed me because I didn't think you'd care, to be frank. I did care because I was hoping that the people still doing the jobs for your show were getting paid and treated well. This is where I question a lot about your sources. Firstly, where's the misogyny? Generally because 11 is just a screenshot of your message. What does this prove exactly, aside of you again talking to people behind my back? But how I apparently went to Abel right after. That too makes a lot of sense why some people who I was close friends with suddenly stopped talking to me. Because you were telling them what your version of events were instead of what actually happened. The new guy comment? I knew his name because someone else told me that. I don't really remember who told me because again, this is 2021. Likely one of your close friends, as we shared friends. How am I supposed to know what was his IRL name and not screen name? I've had you blocked on Twitter since 2022, and your VTuber account shortly after it came across my feed, but I wanted nothing to do with you anymore. I don't think the joke itself is misogynistic because the joke isn't relying on you being female, just that you would often go through partners a lot in a very short time. We were referring. While yes, my joke, the joke can be used for misogyny. I'd say you were male with male/female partners too. So the joke might not be misogynistic, but you might just be a whore, is what he's saying. I find it strange that this was brought up because Max Star years ago was exposed as a pedophile who voiced animations with toddlers in it. I was having a Twitter conversation with an animator at the time who hired them and wants to ask for the document to get a link for the examples, not the link document itself. It was a public document which carried a lot of same information, but I didn't have a link to it, and so I asked for KB for hers. Again, with people like this, I don't know if it's, you know, an actual pedophile or they're just making a fucking animation with fucking toddler code in it with cartoons. So I don't know who they're referencing here, like at all. I guess I'll just have to look into that later on. I also find it strange. Kirby argues I tried to take down multiple VAs when in just this document, and now she's gone after someone who used to be her close friend, her co-host, just to name a few. Like when she reacted to another VTuber VA's raccoon model by jokingly saying "kill it." Kirby was very protective about the fact that she's got a raccoon VTuber character. I wonder who they were talking about here, though. I'll take a look at this screenshot later on to see who they were referencing to. Was she just jealous about someone else being a raccoon VTuber? Again, all of these people worth one another's time. And accusing other VAs of knowing what Maxter was doing. I see we have a lot of people that were actually involved in this in the chat, so I'm doing two things at the same time while reading some of their comments as well. The comments that were there, things KB and a friend had already made up for almost 2 years, of which he was aware of, and decided to twist the information. Oh, so it's the regular thing that he was doing. It's good to know that he never changes his ways on how he acts about this. God damn. Let's continue, because we're almost at the end of it. There are countless examples of her going off on other VAs, way more than I ever did, but it's weird to try to use this point against me. I mean, the most I ever spoke about in terms of VAs who weren't doing content with minors in it was one person who asked me while I was getting an MRI. That's it for me, though. If there's this part, and I do apply this to Lethal and Uni for retaliating towards Lethal the way I did. It was not fair. I didn't have a full deck of cards and was going based on the word of someone else who I thought could trust. He was in the same VCs expressing his experience with KB, such as when she exploited him or attempted to exploit him for free word. It's not my story to tell, however, I will not keep his name anonymous. Lethal was in the most VCs expressing sympathy towards us, however, and there were at least 5 people present, most of whom had negative experience with KB both online and in person. Genuinely, last time I had DM'd anyone about you was Podge, who was several months ago. However, before then, I really can't think of anyone else. Anyone, honestly. Like I said, after I finally blocked you on everything, I felt a bit freer. Yeah, I would mention my ex was abusive, but I wouldn't name drop you the way you name dropped me. Mostly because, like Podge says, people can learn and change. You and I both suffer from similar conditions. We both are able to grow up and act like adults, which I really kind of doubt, considering what the guy does on his sock puppet account. I genuinely want to know who else I've harassed. Well, me, for example. I've been basically accused of this by people who, without any solid evidence, they still wait for any to be provided. However, I take offense to the claim that I don't care for others. I've been given opportunities to work exclusively with big brands or creators, all of which turned down mostly because of the fact I want to support the community and help it grow. And that means sometimes taking a pay cut to support a creator who doesn't have the money to pay fully yet, or a smaller VTuber growing with a lot of potential. Outside of I spent years of my life advocating for minority support. Oh, this is rich though. I'm the good guy here. I advocated for minorities and I donated to charities. And what else? Giving my time to those in need. I even helped one of my said boss with the production for free because they would be able to fly out sooner to be at the funeral of their family. I will sit in a small streamer's stream when I can give it to my viewership to give my support. I see a friend in need and I open my bank account right up to show what I can at them like I did to you when you were in need. I'll do it all over again because that's the right thing to do. Sometimes the right thing to do isn't the easiest thing. Sometimes you'll get hurt trying to help someone you think needs it. But as long as I know someone is helped at the end of the day, I can go to bed satisfied with myself. And I needed to tell this to every fucking one. Because, you know, doing good deeds for people requires you to tell what a good person you are to others as well. Because otherwise the circle isn't complete. You cannot feel good about yourself until you tell other people about what a good person you are. So you don't dare accuse me of not caring for others, especially when you proved yourself in your thread that you're willing to do the very thing you accuse me of. Notice here as well, I went from like right after to a week after. It was a month after. I know so because I know stay away from him because even if he was struggling mentally, what he did to you was not okay. Thank you for leaking my model's face, which is never shared publicly yet. I think that's a lie. I've seen this dude's face before, like and by his face I mean his model's face. So this is just like a needless stab in the back here for no reason. I think he's been losing composure as he was writing this document. It kind of feels like that, especially towards the end of the sentence. Yeah, there's the model. I do remember seeing that face before, and yeah, this is really a thing to keep hidden. This is such a remarkable and unique face that this is a real problem that the face got leaked of this very basic 3D model. My closing statement. I don't know what exactly prompted this document to be posted. This all happened years ago, and at this point it was toxic relationship in the workplace that I didn't need to be made public. Well, that's true enough, but you're also a piece of shit that other people had run-ins with. Like, he focuses on KB quite a bit on this document, but there's other people that have dealings with him. So many other people. I also know Cobra, you're responsible for bullying with another streamer's mod chat back when I attempted to help two staffers who felt uncomfortable because of another showing of their nude model without asking for consent during a staff meeting in VC. That's a whole different bag of worms I didn't wish to open anymore than I already have. This document is filled with nothing more than private matters that happened years ago. Out of context, screenshots that only show one perspective and a bunch of bad faith statements, and tactics to ensure those statements felt more true, such as cropping out important details, content, and proper transparency. I not ever claim to be a perfect person. No one is. In 2020 to 2021, I was still learning. Like, even now, I'm still learning as I get older. However, rather than vent about it, what KB, Yoni, Cobra, and Mimu have done here, I'd like to discuss another topic altogether. Let's see what's he's gonna end this on. Call-out posts should be about protecting people, not about getting even or back at people you think wrong you. I mean, isn't that what you've been doing through a big chunk of this document, especially at the end of it? regardless of the factualness of this document, there will still be people, creators, and viewers who either not care, not see what I have to say. That is very right. They do not give a fuck based on their very minimal response to this document. Only people like me read this stuff. I accepted the fact that at this point, however, it doesn't stop people from using this information to harm others. For those who were here at this point, seeing the full context of what happened years ago, now I'm sorry that this had to come out of the way it has. Oh, let me read the super chat real quick. Moako, thank you for the 5. Kuri, having read this, your professional opinion, do you think he has tism or someone who's a pro in it? I think he's 100% does. He reads like it. I cannot judge with any good faith if someone actually has the tism. I'm not that kind of professional to judge whether he's mentally ill or not. He certainly has mental issues of the narcissistic kind, I can tell you that much. So yeah, I cannot tell you what kind of exact diagnosis a mental health professional would give him, but he's certainly a narcissist. Because he wouldn't include all of this shit about what a good person he is if he wasn't. A good person does good deeds for the sake of doing good deeds, not to show off to others what a good person they are. They just need to do them. Lumi Angler, thank you for becoming a member. So yeah, a good person just doesn't do any of that. They just, go out of their way, or not even go out of their way. They just are good people, and that's that. But let me continue reading this because we're almost at the end of this, and then we get to the good stuff, where his sock puppet account is concerned. That's where he actually shows his true character. Unearthing these DMs, these discussions reopened some wounds I thought I had healed from. I still think I have for the most part, hence why I haven't exploded the same way I would have maybe in 21. I've matured since then. I will really doubt that statement. I've grown with my time on the internet, and now I will show that growth by saying this. I forgive you, KB. The trauma you gave me was scarring. I'll carry that with the rest of my life. For just the fact that she kind of ignored you and was messing around behind the scenes with other people? Is that so scaring? However, someone told me people can change, people can grow, and I always give people second chance. The KB of 20 can be very different from the KB of 2020 and 2021. It's getting very melodramatic here. Now, this is the last time I wish to speak about any of this. I've been very stressful for myself. Erden's harm has ended not long ago, but I wasn't waiting this harm to follow suit. Those who again stuck around for this long document response, I thank you. Don't thank me, I think you're reprehensible. It means a lot for you to take the time to read what I have to write, and apologies for any spelling mistakes and grammar errors because I'm still kinda stupid. And we're gonna see how stupid it is in a moment. Guess what? Because there were other people that had things to say about him. And we're gonna go through these. I was gonna stay quiet about this, but this is the only thing I'll say about the situation. This document rubbed me the wrong way. Not only are you backpedaling and strawmanning your claims and statements in this document, you also virtue signal and try to make yourself look better at the end as well. Also, if you forgave everyone in this situation, it would have been seen so many people telling me and other VAs and content creators about you and your actions still today. And so many others have under the dog post that Uni posted about having bad experiences with you and your work practices to this day is risky to stay away from that. But now that I see it's more than just work practices, I honestly believe you need genuine help. I just want to grow either say sorry or communicate the issue and move on and stop talking about it to people and other creators that can ruin their lives and careers to this day. If you want to get better, do better with your actions, not with your words. Stop talking smack about people and actually get help. And Lord Unicron responded to, this whole thing once the document actually came out. Silvyspark had me block me before posting his document. Here he is, apologizing to me the very same thing he's currently denying. And here's him apologizing to Capo Ninja for the exact same thing. You dare lie after all the shit you put us through? As in blogging Unicron. You do not accuse her of helping abusers when all she did was ask for clarification. She told me about how multiple people told her I can't be trusted because I only think with my dick and that KB would be the one to steal me away. Don't think about saying that didn't happen. It was a week ago and I have people confirming it happened. You weren't there and tell me... okay, I read this one already. That's good. And Lord Unicron had more to say about this too. During this time, the time working on the live show, me through so much you pushed me to the low to edge of suicide. So I ended up going to therapy for years to undo what you did to me. How dare you claim otherwise? You've fallen from the person I thought you were when I first knew you. The only positive I can glean from ever knowing you was ending up meeting the love of my life, and you tried to take that away while I was in the hospital for concussion and COVID. Tell me, why are you lying now? The fact that you blocked everyone before you sent this means you never wanted us to see it. You wanted an echo chamber to discredit your victims again. Lethal reached out to more than your ex. She reached out to multiple people who confirmed it was you. Delete whatever you want. I already archived my entire Discord, including all messages. And more people coming out about him, because there's always more. I advise folks to be very wary interacting with Sylvie. We're in a voice call once and twice, but he felt comfortable recently reprimanding me for calling out his friend. Guess who that friend is? Our convo devolves into punching downward on for VD Rainbow members, yet he claims to be an ally. Here's their whole conversation, which we're actually gonna read this time around. But before that, read the super chat real quick. The Unique Sound, thank you for the 5. Thank you for everyone for talking about this. It's been a long time of dealing with everything, and I'm thankful for everyone coming forward. Well, thank you for the super chat and coming about your experiences with him. And there's a lot more people that have dealt with him, including myself. I mean, I'm more amused with his antics than any of you, because you guys have been actually affected mentally by his awful behavior. To me, what he did to me amuses me, because to me he's very pathetic. But I understand that, you know, not everyone is me, and how he acts towards other people is not the same that he acts towards the people that he actually does consider his enemies, if you want to call it that. But let's continue with his conversation with Burp here. I'ma be real. It feels real weird to pin this on Marina when a lot of people were doing it too. Not defending what she did, mind you. Just remember, there was a lot of people who broke the rules. I know you two are friends, so we're gonna cap for her anyway, but her and Finzi showed up on my front page and were the two most blatant VTubers I saw. There were other bad faith actors. Mind you, they're talking about the Twitch TOS and how Marina, in her wisdom, decided to show off her model in the nude, like completely, and that they were banned for a bit. And then Twitch reversed its rules when it came to nudity and sexual content in this sense. There were other bad faith actors, but those two were both old enough to know exactly what they were doing on a platform that's still considered 13+. Well, no, because I'm her friend doesn't mean I'm not gonna cap for her. Legit, when I saw what happened, I lectured her hard. I just didn't do it publicly because as her friend, I'd rather do it with her directly. I'm doubting this too. So, like, you know what she did is wrong. Why are you coming into my DMs to condemn me for pointing out her bad behavior? What I did was coming to your DMs to say, hey, it was more than just Marina who broke these rules. Yeah, but Marina is a sizable creator. So whenever a sizable creator does stupid shit like that, of course they're gonna be targeting her first and foremost because her reach is the biggest. If like a smaller creator does this and gets very little traction out of it, of course they're not gonna be focusing on them as much. Especially since Twitch themselves cited AI shit as a big reason for rolling back the rules as well. And while there are other bad faith actors and people who took this as an opportunity to troll and throw nudity around, Marina and Rinji played a very large role in it. Some of the people who broke the rules as well have been around for just as long and knew they were doing just as much. Marina and Rinji definitely should have known better and realized the impact of their actions. Again, not defending them. Marina was the most prolific VTuber to do it, and I'm sure it felt great to have a viewership of 10 times her norm, because that's what it was. It was thousands of people that saw this, just because decided to do it. But look at where it landed us. VTubers were mentioned not being exempt from this nudity rule, but they chose to ignore that part. There were several others who did the same thing, and instead she is the most popular and comes with responsibilities to follow the rules more closely. There were several others who did the same thing, like you said, she's most popular and that comes with responsibilities to follow the rules more closely. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that one person alone won't cause Twitch to change the rules like that. Yeah, but she's still to blame for that, so I don't know why you're in these DMs chastising Burb. I don't know why you're doing this. What's the point? Issues like this are often wider, and how people were doing the same shit before she started her live stream. Just because they were least popular doesn't mean they aren't just as guilty too. Yeah, but what does that even matter? Anyway, I'm not apologizing for what I said. You can say what you like. I'm mad at her and her girlfriend for exploiting the rules that painted us all in a negative light and caused Twitch to firm up on bans again. I'm not asking you to apologize for what you said. I'm just saying is to be careful how you praise or state things too. Otherwise, you just you may wake up one day with a bloody part of an animal in your bed, like real mafia behavior right here. His inner fucking Capo is shining through. Be careful how you praise or state things too, because sorry, I have to take a sip because he's kind of mad over here. And I'm losing my voice. Because you think you're looking out for me or something? No. He just wants you to shut up. That's what he wants. We've never spoken inside the time you in a voice chat and you told me all about how you can stand being in the same space as some other creator. We have no relationship. The VC was about someone made fun of my dead dog who died the day, but sure. Yeah, I like to say I look out of people I genuinely have respect for as creators. I like to think it's good nature to do so. Because much like Marina has following that will see how she acts and acts upon, so do you. Everyone with a following does have some sort of responsibility how they present themselves. The stances they take and how they take them. Again, you can have any stance you want, but how you present it to your audience can matter as well. Yeah, that's why Marina was very representative when she decided to show off nudity to potential kids on Twitch. That was very responsible. Sure, but again, you never attempted to speak to me after I had my issues with Marina in said Discord server. Or as I had all my issues in real life. It just seems convenient for you to turn up in my DMs to tell me to be careful. Be careful of who? I'm literally talking to you right now about it in DMs. Well, because I'd usually be in your Twitch chat when you were growing. I'm insanely busy with my own work schedule. So I don't get a ton of time hopping to streams I want to freely watch because I gotta get clips. Be careful of the way my community perceives this. Okay, I can manage my own. They have listened to me in time I've had other issues with other creators. I'm just more vague about it. It sounds like genuinely nobody in my community likes Marina because she's gone after creators they like. That's her own doing and totally separate from me. I'm not saying you can't manage on your own. As for like your community and going after creators they like, hope they aren't referring to like Taiga, who's the Shoda VTuber, because like that's the only person I can recall that actively did go after someone. Unless they're referring to like Silverveil Pikami, which is she never actually did. She might have did one little vague tweet about Hogwarts game, but she never went after Silverveil, her, even Pikami. If they believe they've been watching too much Repsis Desu, that what Bunny News person who's ironically enough sends his fans to harass the people he talks about all the time, including blaming harassment victims for getting harassed. Yeah, there it is. There's that gaslighting he's so very well known for. Oh boy. Nobody mentioned names, but I can think of friends who also had bad experience who you haven't named. Adora? You can say Kyo, but he can't get you here, lol. Well, to be honest, I don't know how to spell his name. I'm not giving out names because I don't know you and it's not my place to talk about the experiences and what you're too scared to step forward. Before this gets out of hand, I do want to add one thing. Like you said to me and her and her friends. She's been my friend since 2020. She's generally helped me out. A lot of mental trauma that many people would have been willing to take home and even bother reaching out for. This Twitch thing she did is really genuinely fucked up. And I straight up told her and lectured her hard about it because, like, why do you need to be a person to do this? Why potentially put your community in the crossfire of content creation Twitter? Well, because Marina is stupid and can't read, that's why. Lectured her about that kind of shit because I've been in content creation since 2013, believe it or not. I'm not asking for names of people. I just know there is also genuinely a lot of misinformation about her that honestly is being spread even further because now there's a massive reason to criticize and hold her accountable. I'm sorry for the bad experience your friends might have had with her. I can't speak for her and can only give my own personal opinion on how something may or may not have happened. I just want to see people fall into this potential rabbit hole where they might unintentionally creating potential harassment towards creators, regardless of whether they deserve it or not, like you said before. Your fans already don't like her, and so you're actively posting about how this is her fault and so on. You think your fans are just gonna sit there and not see what you're tweeting as call to action? There it is. That mental manipulation is so very well known for. Do you want to come off as the bad person here? I guess he would help that along, considering he just goes to random people to talk shit about them. They're not about to go jumping down Marina's throat, if that's what you're implying. How do you know that? LOL. Because nobody in Discord wants to stay on this subject. They dislike her, but they're not drama-hungry cretins who want to harass others. Well, that's great for Discord, but not all your fans are on Discord. And anyone who goes after her is not truly a community member. My community hasn't gone after her any other time I mentioned her. So it's fun you're trying to play devil's advocate with me. What are you actually playing at? I'm speaking from my experience as a content creator for over a decade. I'm very easy to well my community would never do that, but have ever gone and checked. By the way, he doesn't have much of a community, as far as I've checked. His Twitch is dead, his YouTube is pretty much almost non-existent. He gets no fucking views, so I don't know what kind of fucking community he has amassed. At least on the Silvyspark identity. I don't know if he's done anything else beyond that, but you know, just saying you're a content creator since this and this year doesn't really mean much. You don't have much to show for it. And if you don't have much to show for it, means you don't have much of experience with it. Before I left VTX, I saw Faye, another VTuber, offering to spy for Marina on Devil. Like, how do you know? What's your defense for that? I don't know, I need to get more context and information about that first, but that's also not like the topic. LOL, of course. I ask you, how do you know if your community isn't gonna see that stuff you say as a call to action? Yes, it is. It's related. You're pointing fingers at me for something Marina's actually done. What? No. I came to you giving caution for how you make statements about things. And how do you explain all the stuff Marina has done? He's linking to Comfy Linux statement about Marina. Again, we had all that stream some time ago about that, so I'm not gonna reiterate. You have to watch that or just go to Comfy Linux for more of that context. Yes, it is Marina related, but I could be literally about anyone else. It's obviously about her. She even had a fucking stream about it. You're again trying to fuck with her mind. Got proof? That isn't just Comfy Linux spouting stuff that has no evidence to even support. Yes, there it is. Undermining what Linux says because post proof. You can talk about Linux all you want because they were gonna be on a podcast hosted by a guy named Mizu. And no, the racist and transphobe. Nope, he isn't. Mizu is kind of dumb, but he's not a racist or transphobe. Who actively misgendered Linux the whole time. I don't think he has done that intentionally. If he did that, he didn't do it intentionally. I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure he didn't do that intentionally. So that's bullshit. That's more of Silvyspark's just fucking lying. You still in the VTX Discord? Yeah, good. I just wanted to give you a heads up of you pissed off the VT Rainbow people enough that a couple of their friends are trying to spy on you. I just really want to get involved. Just think that what they're doing is pretty dumb and petty. Go look at October 9th. Redacted offer to spy for Marina. So I warned Dev because we're friends. Will do. While I do give me any sort of credible evidence for anything Linux said October 9th of this year. Go look at October 9th. Captain Lyra and Akife offered to spy for Marina, so I warned Dev because we're friends. Will do, while I give me any sort of credible evidence for anything Linux said October 9th of this year. Does it say it's this year in the screenshot? It's 2022. The one I sent. The one else in my DM to Redacted, because I would have told her about the same day. That's actually really cruel of you to dismiss Linux like that. That too. All because they went to talk to someone you don't like, especially when other former VTR members backed them up. I asked them for proof actually, because when Linux is alleging serious allegations, spelled wrong. Now I did taught them in DMs because I wanted to know that the claims they gave me I was able to debunk. Okay, debunk them then. Sure, what would you like me to debunk first? Because I have no reason to think they're lying. I do because I know their manager. Debunk everything you think is untrue. Like, how is everyone else in VTR lying? Well, for starts, as far as I could find, no one's actively was misgendering Linux in VTR. No text messages or anything could be found. Also, in my own experiences, Marina would actually correct me if I wrote or said her instead of they. Kumo definitely ain't lying about you all casting her aside for anything remotely lolly, because I know that's exactly how you folk are. Oh boy, you're about to get wake-up call then. No, now you might be asking, why is this is the case? Why is their manager important? Well, are you familiar with Evil Bunny? Nope. Well, Evil Bunny used to be pretty high in their tier manager for a lot of creators. We're talking Mono, Kriken, the works. She had a ton of clients until 2022 when she lost all of them. The tweet longer started appearing. Needless to say, this seriously damaged Evil Bunny's reputation. She went dark for about a year. She's recently making a comeback in the VTuber scene with recruiting smaller, medium-sized VTubers. I was dropped in myself as an editor actually, and I did several things for free, under the promise of payment through sponsorships and streaming growth later. The thing started going downhill when Erin, Evil Bunny, started gossiping and starting encouraging people in her VCs to talk gossip about people who had issues with or didn't like tech, and basically use it further to sympathize with us and go sipping when sympathize with us, an exploitation trick to make us believe she actually gave a shit. In reality, she was doing next to nothing. For any of us would often use one of her clients to pitch stuff to another. She used one of her clients actually to pitch me the idea of a VTuber group, which in second tweet longer is nearly the exact same thing she tried to pull with another editor in order to get more free edits. However, as the gossiping would continue, they would become more unhinged in terms of scale. I think it could start off like, well, I wish this person would talk to me more, and she'd encourage it to that point where here the southern person is a massive sexist piece of shit. Which is exactly happened to Linux in my opinion. Why? I was sending those VCs. I was witnessed Erin essentially coast Linux into a rabbit hole of anxiety and manipulating their sense of justice. Oh, so that's what it is. That's your argument here, that Linux was manipulated by the evil manager, Evil Bunny, and that put bad thoughts into her about Marina and VT Rainbow. Is that the argument you're trying to make here, and that someone's gonna believe? Which is likely why Linux was so publicly with stuff that, again, I bothered to do the smallest amount of fact-checking showed to be false. When Linux was gonna go on the transphobe racist podcast, we tried to stop Linux because if they did go on, it would ruin their reputation within the LGBT plus VTuber community. This means to believe trans people are groomers, POC creators are racist because they had special event for themselves years ago, and is huge supporter of Rolicon and Show.com. This is where he loses people that, you know, aren't part of this this way of thinking. So when I reached out to Erin to tell her not to let their client essentially ruin their reputation, she refused. Now, why would someone refuse to stop their client from creating a PR nightmare for themselves like this? How would Linux lie? How would they lie about something like this? Me, and based on my own experience, I think Linux and even Kumar being influenced by someone would really benefit from someone like Marina, who runs VTR, to lose all of her members, and the evil bunny could come and scoop them all up. And why the majority of Erin's current clientele are former members of VTR. So he just spun a giant fucking conspiracy theory that's all centered around evil bunny manipulating people while throwing other people under the bus, calling them names and things that aren't true. There's so much more I can go into here, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. That is the whole thing. That's why they say there's proof of the claims of any of the claims Linux. Where's the proof? Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Need a sip. But yeah, holy conspiracy theory, Batman. Oh, this is why I say, where's the proof of any of the claims Linux? Where's the proof of the stuff that you yourself has already established as fact? To bring this back to the topic of the start of this all, though, should be able to criticize Marina for what she did. Absolutely, what she did was stupid, and she should rightfully be held accountable. At this point, he's just monologuing. It's fair though to blame her, as she's the main reason why Twitch rolled back the policy. Even when Twitch themselves noted it had more to do with AI-related stuff, no. I don't think it's fair to frame it like that, because what that do is create framing that pins all the blame on Marina, which is someone who needs to go touch grass, will see and act upon it. They don't even need to be your biggest fan, they'll see what you wrote as a call to action to justify their own feelings towards someone to act upon it. That's why it's important how you where did I finish this? That's why it's important how you phrase and frame things. It's important to remember the wider picture. Absolutely, you can criticize Marina for what she did. And so myself and poked fun at it on Twitter. Accountability is important to maintain. My main message is just to be careful not to be apologized for criticizing someone who rightfully deserves criticism. Since we're coming back to this, are you DMing everyone who had made a pointed remark about Marina and Fenzi, or just me? No, just because I respect you as a creator and someone potentially problematic in your framing and give you my perspective of it. And to be honest, I doubt you do. Sorry, I don't know you. I don't know, you think you respect someone you don't know. I said as a creator. My point still stands. I can like creators who are still deplorable. I can respect the grind I've witnessed you go through. Yeah, I don't chat a lot in your chats, but as I've said before, I don't often go to see streams. I choose to watch because of my work. I also not out here looking to justify for my friends. Yes, man. Yes, man mentality is something I actively hate because it's not productive. You give a shit about your friends, you will hold them accountable. It doesn't have to be thing done publicly either, as maturity discussing something private and directly. The blowback Marina is receiving not just from myself, but from enough people that she's trending on Twitter is due to her own actions. I can show you what I told Marina if you'd like. I respectfully don't care to see what you said to her. I'm not saying you're the one responsible for it all. You're just someone I saw that I respected and felt like talking to you directly about being cautious about how you frame stuff. If you say so, I offered. Alright, well, thanks for looking out for me, I guess. No problem. Also, only just coming back to this, I'm referring to Marina's survey in this. This is an active light. There's an age limit and it's for adults only. He's referring to something that Linux had to actually tell to Marina, so they actually set it, set an age limit for that fucking server. And Linux even says it right here. Had to literally ask her. No one in the group knew, not even those closer to her. I was frantic about there were kids. I wanted them out and for rules established. I was fucking mess. The group ran for like a year with no age boundary. That's a good reaction image to that. And then Burp continued on Twitter. This conversation is so condescending towards you just because you didn't agree with his words. I hope you're okay. I was pissed off, then I get over it. Seeing you all have awful experiences with him pushed me to give me my own 2 cents. Having someone talk down to me like this was insulting. I like how he clarifies. Multiple times he checked that there was nothing that could be found that could be used against him, so the others, when they were doing wrong, like he was covering his tracks and is cocky as fuck, that nothing could be dug up. Banking on people like me who don't usually get involved in callouts, I suppose. He was probably seeking allies, as well as, you know, potentially flexing his influence, considering the warning, quote unquote, for Burb's sake there. Not for his own sake and for Marina's sake. Just, you know, don't make enemies out of us, otherwise your opinion, the wider opinion about you might just change. Think about your community and how they will see what you do. Because, you know, your community is full of dummies that do not, that treat everything as a call to action when someone criticizes someone over terrible fucking decisions. But yeah, this was the recent happenings, and now we're actually getting to the juicy part. And that is Silvyspark's sock account, which I'm quite sure is his, because he's a dumbass and he doesn't hide it very, very well. You have to see that this is a post from the Virtual Asylum VTuber forum that first mentions that Silvyspark is fat Slovenian. Doesn't actually provide much of a proof that it's him, but there's several clues out there that lead to this identity. So I'm gonna read a few bullet points from this one. Marina and his lackeys are still trying to ruin her because the scenes are, as of her, contacting me. One of the most major harassers is Silvyspark, who's been contacting both Linux and her entire contact list, put all her advertisers/sponsors accusing her of being racist, transphobic, etc. He is described as Marina's simp till the day he dies, and is constantly making alt accounts to continue trying to contact Linux after she broke contact with him. One of his alt accounts is Fat Slovenian. Again, those bullet points, and here's him as Fat Slovenian going after Linux. Hey, Comfy Linux, if you give a damn about actually being an activist, maybe don't just casually chat up with transphobes and blatantly ignore them misgendering trans people simply because you don't like the trans person in question. You're no ally, Linux. You're a hypocrite and a fraud. Do you remember what kind of talking points he had in the DMs that when he talked to Burb about this in February, mind you? And this is from November last year. These are the same talking fucking points right here, because Linux decided to quote unquote associate herself with transphobes and racists. You were repeatedly done for months. You're bound to have proof, right? Or are you just going to continue touching any respect people had for you by crying wolf? I love comfy Linux logic. I refused to quote tweet. 1 hour later, quote tweets anyways. I guess she got better. Notice how she basically says nothing in both statements too. She was able to written two separate people. Yet, aside from the statements of ableism, there's no meat on the bones. Nothing but weak statements with no backing. This is kind of VTuber we don't need. Grow up. Keep this statement about ableism mentions in check here, because he cares about this in this, but later on he says something that is completely contrary to that. Here's him going after Rev says Desu. Rev is a grifter, pedo apologist who makes his living saying the stupidest things possible to get other stupid people angry. He's essentially a walking punching bag for a living. Here's the talk about fruit and the whole Hogwarts Legacy thing that was happening a while back from October. No, you know, you sound like Lich VTuber when she backstabbed Silverway and condoned toxicity. Maybe focus less on someone's clearly badass design, yours is crap by the way, and be a better person. More like when Silverway avoided talking irresponsibly for her own actions, Lich didn't do anything. If anything, Silverway backstabbed Ironmouse when she threw her and everyone in Shoujo under the bus because they didn't make her the mascot. And here's him directly going after Linux. This past week destroyed my mental health. This is back from October. I have left VT Rainbow. I'll be the first to be open and say I had long-term issues and concerns. It was not a healthy environment for me and I don't wish to talk about it. Please respect this and I am sorry. Makes baseless accusation about whole group. Proof? No. Why talk about it? The only thing this does is potentially slander a whole group. It simply just doesn't work out for you when they just move on. It just creates needless drama, for fuck's sake. Firstly, this isn't really bad faith and unkind. Secondly, I simply tweeted honest about why I left. There's nothing wrong with this. There's no drama. It was all private and kept private. It wasn't a case of it simply not working out. Because everything I've said is true. Be kinder. Why did you tweet it? It's one thing to just state that you left, but you can still tweet without having a state unhealthy work environment. If you don't want drama, then act like a professional. It's perfectly acceptable to be honest about why I left. I don't pretend everything is sugar and rainbows when it isn't. To even suggest it wasn't worded professionally is really unfair. More people should be this honest, especially about bad environments. And again, there is no drama, lol. You're missing the point. You say you don't want drama, but you're setting up the potential drama, vaguely dropping your reason for leaving. Do you see the issue here? I never said I don't want drama. I said there was no drama. There is really no issue for me. You're the only one with a problem, I think. I'm content with everything. I don't know why you, a complete stranger, is trying to tell me how to handle my life. You're creating drama. Not everyone who has issue with something are open about it. It's very short-sighted. Ah, I see. Okay, so I understand you have issue with me being honest about things that have nothing to do with you. Or they do, because he's Silvyspark. He's not just a stranger. I just suggest taking some time offline and reflecting on why you care so much about strangers, and all the best. Sorry, I don't just believe everything I read on X without evidence. You don't need to ban. Like, you don't know me and I'm not trying to turn anyone against anyone. Just open about the time in the group and what is done for my health, especially as one of the most active people. It's okay to scroll. It's really nothing to do with you, and I don't need your trust. So why talk about it publicly? He's really concerned about these optics, about this whole situation. Literally, all I said was that I left because I negatively affected my health, which my community cares about, because I am disabled and have a lot of health issues as is. I did what I did because I wanted to, because I believe it. I was the right thing. There's nothing more to be said. And here's Proctor, the guy that was talking about Sylvie beforehand. He says here that he has no, he cannot provide at this point in time concrete proof that that fat Slovenian is Sylvie. But you know, how many Slovenians do you know that put a Slovenian flag on their throne? I just received a gift from KB from Gift. Slovenia, small, 4x6-inch mini country flag, banner with 10-inch pole. Polyester, new, thank you. And then there's Slovenia, let's go, by Silvyspark. I don't know, do you know many Slovenians or many fat Slovenians, because you know, he's very smart like that got involved in this whole Marina drama. Mind you, a very niche drama if you actually want to look into that. It's kind of suspicious, you know, that a guy being accused of being fat Slovenian somehow tweets about about Slovenia and has a Slovenian flag in his throne. Kind of fucking suspicious. You know, or it might just be a huge fucking coincidence that that his love for Slovenia, Silvyspark's love for Slovenia, just kind of coincides with the name of an account called Fat Slovenian. Who the fuck knows? You know, it takes a fucking detective to figure that out. Might just be a huge fucking coincidence. Who fucking knows? And then here's some more of him going after other people, because you need to know how he acts towards other people. First of all, second of all, I log off. You're plucking at the absolute vaguest threads of interaction, try to smear someone coming across as obsessed. My bad. Notice how it basically says nothing in both statements too. It's my just pointing out how that'd be Linux themselves obsessed with this because they can't stop themselves from continuing to tweet about it. Linux is speaking out about an experience they've clearly been sitting with for a while. It's clearly affected them greatly. You're posting multiple tweets trying to speaking about something that has presumably nothing to do with you. Not presumably, because he's Silvyspark. What I like to think I'm doing is making people pause a bit before believing stuff without asking questions first. This guy's so fucking dumb. I can't handle it. What I like to think I'm doing is making people pause before believing stuff without asking questions first. Okay, well, should you probably realize you're coming across a little too invested to be just asking questions, casual devil's advocate. I think that can be debatable. No, it's not debatable. You're Sylvie fucking Spark. That's what you are. Sorry, I can move my background by mistake, but okay. Back to it. Okay, that's fine. Here's him commenting on more Linux posts. When people called one of your flagship members grifters, I was written off as transphobia. Is it transphobia now that the person that was directly involved with your group says as much? Also waiting for the actual proof that Linux is actually saying anything truthful. It's very easy to make claims, but there's no evidence. I never trust it. Also, I remembered something about I don't know if that's a dog, like a stock dog photo in his profile picture there, but I remember That's I remember Sylvie like mentioning that he had like a beloved dog that he had to put down. Would that be his dog, or is that just like a stock dog image? Who knows? But you know, breadcrumb trails just lead to a dumbass. At Comfy Linux bringing new lows to the game of VTubering. Is it one thing to sup with another VTuber? Is another to sup with their child? Low and gross and absolutely low. By the way, Linux here says something to the case of even if you're disabled and have a kid, it's no excuse to act the way Marina did. That's essentially all that Linux here said, and here him is trying to paint it like in a completely different context. And there's more. There's Silvyspark as him, as Silvyspark going after false ID during the Hogwarts Legacy shit. I like to share with you all some of the blatant transphobia my friend here has received because after false ID, honestly surface level coverage of the Silverway situation, I like to show that there is a difference between genuine criticism and shit like this. Still denying there were death threats and doxing? Where's the proof? The streamer with 400,000 followers clearly is clout chasing. Oh, and then mysteriously here's Fat Slovenian under Silvyspark's thread. What a coincidence! What a continued series of coincidences. He didn't even deny asking for proof or of something is totally justifiable. That was debunked. While shield mode did flag the word trans at a certain level, the mod in silver couldn't have approved of the use of the word. Just chose not to. Another thing they did was to time out people saying trans rights were human rights. They also never had their own fans accountable when they doxed even doxed people. See, this is the fucking arguments the guy uses. He tries to paint Silver Veil fans as these abusers that dox and insult people, and that Silver Veil is to blame for that. The guy is a complete piece of shit. And as well, there's more. Him responding under Ref says Desu. Have you ever considered blocking someone you don't like instead of throwing a public tantrum for attention? You're self-reporting that you immediately think of children when you look at anime characters. Stop watering down the term pedophile. The benefit of real predators. Have you considered not getting cucked all the time? How's the grifter life panning out? And here's him going after Kyo, after Kyo was mentioned in one Twitter post. Wasn't a fan of Kyo, but I'd like to take his side on this one. The hypocrisy is off the charts. This is what he had to say about this. It was very hypocritical of him to claim she sends people to harass others when he's notorious for his fans sending death threats to people he talks negatively about. Plus him quote tweeting every tweet criticizing him as prime thin skin behavior. You know what has thinner skin? What's more of a thin skin behavior than whatever you think it is? Making sock puppet accounts because you cannot be seen going after people on your main account because that's bad optics. So you make a thinly veiled sock puppet account. Dumbass. Nah, I side with Marina here. Legit. He's been sending his fans to do nothing but harass Marina further, all for exposing a guy said he wanted to fuck little boys. That's about Taiga and that's about fucking cartoon characters again. I'm telling you, ever since VT Rainbow was formed, some of them got worse as people. Like Alex Ox, formerly known as K on Twitter, was founding member of the group, which hunted someone pretty freaking hard. Got recipes for that? Sadly do not, but VTuber Cringe might, which is me, by the way. Damn VTuber Cringe, what a reliable and totally not biased source who is actively mocked by the VTuber space as being a shitty human being who masks his bigotry as cringe coverage. Go outside and get your dick touched. You heard it right here, folks. I'm here masking my bigotry with what he calls cringe coverage, and I actively manipulate my sources because I'm biased instead of showing you as things as they are. But yeah, Elsox, one of the founders of VT Rainbow, is actually someone who is called K beforehand, and they witch hunted Kudo. They even said they will send child protective services after Kudo, and Elsox is a fucking abuser and has hidden that quite well throughout all of these years since that fucking happened. But here's Fat Slovenian going after me too. I was sent this by some random. Care to explain? Marina got her information about Tiger from someone that's actually a rapist. Okay, and oh my god, someone found evidence who the murderer is, but they're a thief, so the evidence is now invalid. It's because the person who wrote the document was a piece of shit doesn't make the evidence in the document invalid. Well, isn't that a little bit hypocritical considering what you said about me? That the things I do say that I posted on Twitter are invalid because I'm a shitty human being actively mocked by the wider VTuber space, whatever the fuck that is. And he continues on here. Yeah, and if there's a reason to doubt someone, you can doubt them. If there's evidence without anything to properly debunk it, you can just ignore it. This is in the dunk you think it is, dipshit. Proves that your entire argument here was in bad faith because you already threw your support in with Marina supporting a known rapist. Because the doc called Taiga Pedo was confirmed to have been made by a guy who date raped a trans person on the 18th birthday. She, me, where show me, probably he meant. Where Marina says, I support this person. Is she using evidence in that document to her own argument? Yeah, but that's not an endorsement of the person in who wrote the document. If you tried your argument in court, it would be tossed. You'd say if you either looked at the sources provided, like VTuber Cringe, or if you look for it yourself, or Wayback Machine, because the internet never forgets. But you have refused both options, so again, you're acting in bad faith. I legit didn't see that's how Cringe claimed she was, but I read it for myself. Sorry, but your logic is flawed. I even showed it, like the complete connection that Elsox is K. Can even do it on this stream if anyone wants it. I still have all of that shit. Damn, VTuber Cringe, what a reliable, not a biased source who is actively mocked for the VTuber space. Go outside and get your dick touched. Ask for proof, get told what their screenshots that give proof. Nah, this doesn't count, go have sex. Truly the response of an intelligent human, of an intelligent being. You realize using VTuber Cringe as a source is like using Onion as one, right? At least the Onion is actually fine, not trying to target minorities. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry, all of these minorities I've targeted. Hell, I even watched Cringe's video and not once did he actually provide real evidence. Just hinted and projected. He posted screenshots that's literally the source. Screenshots of what exactly? Of just some Marina's tweets that he frames as if she's summoning a horde of people to harass others? Does it lack your own critical thinking skills? Are you paying attention to the conversation at all? We aren't even talking about her. Screenshots for what we're actually talking about. Talking about Elsox, by the way. Damn, maybe instead of just screenshotting this, send me the link to your evidence, yeah? Yeah with it? Or you're just gonna have me to do work for you? See, there it is. He's presented with evidence and he still is fucking playing dumb. No, send me the link. I don't want screenshots. Send me the link. Are you unable to read? It's right there. You can look at the person's account if you're desperate to take your time acknowledging an abuser. Yeah, show me the link where it says evidence, you dipshit. You can screenshot accusations all you want, but I require proof of believing anything. You're really that fucking lazy. Get the pictures of evidence, you dumb fuck. Or just a copy. Send me the link. Are you just that stupid? It's already linked, you moron. You refuse to look at it because you're too fucking stupid. You really took a screenshot of the link. I can't fucking click on it, you the dumb motherfucker. Why did you screenshot all of it, not just copy the paste link? Why make more work for yourself? This guy is so fucking stupid. Or he's just playing at being stupid. But then again, considering how badly he hit that he's Silvyspark, I'm willing to fucking not even guess that he is genuinely this fucking stupid. LOL. At VD Rainbow, here's him going after Kyo again. Damn, you keep putting Tiger on your back voluntarily. Get some thicker skin, shit dick. Or maybe, just maybe, some people who touch grass will actually respect you. Damn, what an awful thing to let letting everyone know about an extremely toxic person like Taiga. So glad you're standing strong with the side of the guy who said he wanted to fuck little boys. Truly brave and bold new approach. Marina got her information about Taiga from someone that's actually a rapist. Okay, and oh my god, someone found evidence who the murderer is, but they're thieves, so the evidence is invalid just because the person wrote the document. The piece of shit doesn't make the evidence invalid. Invalid because Taiga, being horny for a 2D cartoon boy, is not even close to someone taking advantage of someone else just turned 18. The same person that got her info from, that Marina got her info from, that Marina never disavowed. Marina deserves to no peace until she apologizes. Okay, so because it's a cartoon representation of little boys, it's normal and it's fucked up at all, right? That's why cartoon bestiality is okay too. Oh, cartoon fascism. Just because it's a cartoon means it's not legit, right? This whole logic of this argument. Yes, because that's what cartoons are. You know what's fucked up? Fantasizing about your middle schoolers like Marina has. Again, you love those false accusations but claiming to hate them. That charity event was planned before the shooting even took place, you fuck nugget. Think those events happen on a whim with all the graphics, assets, and planning happening on a whim? And I remember the thing that he said about you know, ableism. Able is bad, transphobia and bad, all of that. All right, so making a remarkable cartoon character is fine. Glad we're on the same page, and Marina should apologize. Damn, you're really autistic. Oh, isn't that a little bit of ableism there, Mr. Fat Slovenian, aka Silvyspark? That's kind of surprising. I thought you were an ally. I guess you're not. I guess Silvyspark is not a real ally. Because he calls someone autistic as an insult. And lastly, I can't find my fingers. Well, Fat Slovenian, if they weren't so deep up Marina's ass, maybe you could find them. But you have fingers up everyone's ass at this point. Actually, let me check if he's posted anything new ever since this whole call out of his. Because he comes on his he comes up on his account, you know, to usually talk shit about other people when something happens. He didn't post anything else that's inflammatory. It's just him going after people consistently. What a piece of shit. The least genuine person I've seen in recent months. But yeah, that's Silvyspark, and I refuse to believe Fat Slovenian is anyone else but him. It's way too coincidental not to be him. For his sake, I hope he didn't do anything worse than what was presented here. The shit he's been doing is already pretty fucking bad. But I hope he's not the type of that has even more malicious skeletons in his closet, because people like this often do. So who the fuck knows what he does behind the scenes? But then again, he's too much of a fucking cunt and too much of a big pussy to post all of these comments to go after people on his Silvyspark account. So instead of he's gonna use this fucking dog thing. But fucking Slovenian. How dumb you have to be to tie yourself like that? The same fucking identity. I do not know. But yeah, that's him. The most loyal and true Marina fan. I don't know what the hell he gets out of it. Probably something of the sexual nature, because he seems like that type of deviant as well. And is Sylvie gonna suffer any repercussions of that? Probably not, because he has no fucking shame. After his whole debunk document that he posted, he just went on to continue posting as he would normally do. And nothing is gonna change because no one gives a fuck, and this guy is just gonna around being a good little boy and shit talking people like Lennox to other VTubers. It's just how it's gonna fucking be. Disappointing is one thing, and pathetic is another. But he's both of these things. And I do hope some kind of, level of justice is gonna come his way eventually, but who the fuck knows? I just have to wait and see. But let me catch up to the chat real quick. How long have we been actually going with this? 3 hours. Pretty good. Just as long as I expected this to take, pretty much. So let's see what people had to say, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Again, some people will not care. Most people will not care, and that's the sad part about it. Listen, there's actual sex pests in this fucking community, and they're all out in the open right there. People know about them, and they do nothing about it. There's fake VTuber managers out there that were formerly huge fucking abusers, but now they're deciding to hide themselves under new identities and pretend they're angels that never did anything wrong, while making sure that no one else finds their identity. In fact, there's even evidence of them hiding that identity and making sure that other people do not talk about who they were beforehand. And I think I'm gonna do a stream about this person next time. About this person that's hiding in plain sight. And I'm gonna give you like a small preview about who it actually fucking is. Because this person needs a fucking comeuppance like any other. And I'm gonna link their fucking Twitter in this. Because I don't think people like this should fucking get away with anything. Especially after what they did and how they acted towards other people. This person, Tessa VT, is someone called Drake, that used to be called Draken. Consistently went after people for the dumbest of fucking reasons. You may know Raken from first going after PewDiePie when he decided to be a VTuber for a day. That's pretty much Raken's first claim to fame. Talking about lolly VTubers, calling them pedophiles and such, and worse. But you know, personal insults like that, which are already bad enough, that's one thing. But actually being friends with a sex pest and defending them, that's a fucking other. And they continued to fucking do that until they decided to switch to this new Tessa identity, and now they're pretending to be a good girl, a good VTuber manager. But yeah, this is Raken. If you don't know who Raken was. they're really trying to hide their fucking identity. And actually, I talked about Raken to another VTuber beforehand because they had problems with them and a lot of problems. And I had this screenshot just here. I need some time to actually find it because this is a really old conversation here that I had with this one particular VTuber. So just give me a moment. How Tessa is hiding the Raken identity, because that's really fucking telling. So just give me a moment. You guys amuse yourself as I look for this. Hold up. Hope the screenshots are right there. That's a deleted tweet, but oh, I'm sorry, fucking Discord saves the screen caps of that shit. Hold up. I need to see more of this. I hope I saved more of it. I think I did. And a lot of this actually links to my old account, which is another problem in itself, because it doesn't exist anymore. Well, it does exist, but it's suspended, so if it ever gets unsuspended, it does come back. But yeah, just give me a moment. So in case you wanted to tie it back to Raken, that I'm not speaking out of my fucking ass, that this is Raken. Here it is. There's the proof of that. Here's Tessa responding to someone. This tweet is deleted now, by the way, because they really want to hide all the mentions that Tessa used to be Raken. Well, for me, I'm getting to the point where this particular account, contrary to the old Raken account you've been following, is very business marketing education, whereas the other stuff would be fancy, I'm thinking. And let's see. Let me go to Raken's account if it still actually exists. Oh, guess what? It's locked, but guess what? I'm also following it, so I see all of that shit too. A lot of the Tessa retweeting posts are also there. Pathetic. And again, they're hiding all of it because so much shit was connected to Raken. Okay, there's another one. Folks who used to follow this account may or may not know that I have a new account, TessaVT, where I focus my professional profit on being a manager, pursuit of being a manager of VTubers, and soon making content myself. I'll be keeping this Raken account locked to use as my vent account, and guess what? They don't post on it anymore. Because that type of venting that Raken did is ultimately super fucking toxic. In case you don't know what kind of content Raken actually had beforehand. But yeah, she needs a comeuppance for that type of shit. And you know, believe it or not, Tessa Reikan used to call you know, lolly VTubers pedophiles or pedophile enablers and all of that awesome stuff. Want to see something cool? I wonder if that tweet is still up by Tessa. Probably is. So let me look for it. I want to see even something even more incriminating, because this is also something cool. How she tries to hide that identity, and it's so fucking blatant. This is so fucking pathetic. Take a look at this shit. Dabs and cries. I got an A+ in emotional damage. This reply was hidden by the original post outer. Please call me Tessa. Forgot about that. Oh, what's the hidden post? What could it fucking be? Let's take a closer look at what the post is. What's the hidden post here that Reikan so badly wants to hide? Congrats on the A+, Reikan. Oh boy. How could this be? Why are you hiding your past this much? Are you afraid of something? I do wonder. Fucking bitch. And you know, this wouldn't be all too bad, and it's already pretty fucking bad in my mind. But let me show you something else. When I'm, you know, if I'm already going on a rant about it. Let me find another thing. Which is the biggest fucking hypocrisy I've seen. I hope I remember where it is. If that post actually still exists. I hope it does. If it's not deleted. Because again, these are just things I remember from the top of my head because they pissed me off so much, and they've been in my head for the longest of fucking times. And you know, this person is now playing at being this squeaky clean VTuber manager. Mind you, when Reikan or even when Tessa was having any kind of VTuber fucking opinions on Twitter, it usually was the dumbest shit possible, written in a pseudo-intellectual way, like a thread of like 20+ posts that said that, you know, when someone says a lot but actually none of that has any fucking substance to it. That's pretty much what Reikan was throughout this whole fucking thing. And it's no different with fucking Tessa. It's the same fucking thing. I can't find it right now. But there's essentially a post where she inadvertently praises like lolicon VTubers as Tessa, despite her talking mad shit about them on her Reikan personality. It was something with her like taking a screenshot of like a lolly VTuber community thing on Twitter, and like praising it with like, this is the community I'm part of, not in a derisive sort of way, mind you, but in a positive way, you know, despite on her previous identity calling them all the worst fucking things imaginable, and now just fucking hiding it from other people, pretending none of that happened, never having apologized to anyone for this sort of shit, and now you know, trying to be some sort of I don't know, authority in terms of what VTuber managers do. It's all a fucking grift, and people would be falling for it. It's sad and pathetic. So yeah, maybe next time, maybe next week, I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a recap about who Reikan is and who Tessa is now, or at least who Tessa is pretending to fucking be. Because I don't like people that act like this, that pretend that they are something else, where in fact they're just the worst pieces of shit imaginable. I just got myself pissed right now. What's even worse, there are some people that did know about this. And I'm not gonna name names here because, again, despite what some people like Silvyspark may say, like me being like a shit stirrer, things like that, I'm not gonna name names here, at least for now. But there are people out there, there are VTubers, there are indie VTubers out there that know about this, that know that Tessa used to be Reikan. What's worse with that fact is that these people are friends with lolly VTubers that Reikan used to personally go after. And these people, despite being friends with these lolly VTubers, they interact with Reikan and are friends with them. Like even one of the VTubers I know is being now managed by Reikan, despite, you know, being friends with a lolly VTuber. Well, these people aren't friends anymore because, you know, why would you want to be friends with someone that now interacts with a person that used to call you a fucking pedophile? Again, not naming names here because I'm not gonna start that kind of shit. Not yet. If it ever comes to that, I will name this person because I do find this kind of behavior fucking disgusting. They used to be friends, but, you know, I guess the fact that Tessa is now helping her is more important than, you know, being friends with someone. Just turn their back on them immediately. Fucking hell. This is maddening. I'm actually pissed off right now. Lumi, thank you for the 5. We have a Discord server, anything outside of this asylum, if not all good, LMAO. No, I don't. I do have a personal like Discord account, but I don't have a Discord server. I don't want to have any of that. So no, I am on YouTube and I am on the Virtual Asylum fucking VTuber forum, and that's it as far as that goes. But yeah, imagine dropping your friend and instead interacting with their fucking abuser, because that abuser is now helping you to go ahead in your VTubing career. That's sad. It's sad, and it's pissing me off the more I think about it, because that breaks any kind of principle that I do hold dear. One principle that I do have, that when I have friends, and I have good friends, and it takes a lot to actually be someone I would call a friend, you do not betray your friends in such a way, especially, you know, when you're like that. I used to I went after one of Pippa's friends when I still had my account, and you know why I did that? I got a little shit for that from Pippa's community, but I went after her friend because her friend was one of those people that shat on lolly VTubers, like wholesale, calling them pedophiles and shit like that, while completely lusting after Pippa. And Pippa was friends with people like that. And I didn't go after Pippa, mind you. I just went after her friend because her friend is a fucking scumbag. they would make exceptions for Pippa because Pippa is a friend, while shitting on the same kind of people that like the same things that Pippa does like. So that kind of double standard is just not up to my fucking principles, and I do not stand for shit like that. And they told me, delete that fucking thread. No, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna stand for what I believe in, and I'm not gonna make exceptions for people just because I happen to like them or they happen to be friends with someone. I don't give shit about shit like that. So no. Yeah, and I never took down the tweet. Fucking Twitter had to take down my account for that thing to disappear. But no, I would never delete something like that. Because I do believe in those fucking principles, and I will stand behind them. But yeah, getting heated aside, this is probably what we're gonna have another stream about. Because Tessa, Reikon being fucking hidden in plain sight, it pisses me off to no fucking end. Especially that level of pretense, that level of oh, it's not me. This new identity is just someone, someone who's a good girl. All of that shit never happened. Defending sex pests never fucking happened. That's all on fucking Reikon. An account that's now locked up on. Too bad I can still fucking see it. So Reikon, if you ever watch this stream, make sure you purge all your fucking followers, because I see that shit, but too late. That's probably too late for that, because I already got all that I needed from your account. It's just a matter of finding it again on my hard drive. So do your fucking worst. Clean up your shit if you want to, escape of who you fucking were beforehand. Do your fucking best. But yeah, all of that aside, I kind of enjoyed myself today a little bit too much, despite being a little bit heated under the collar at the end of it. But yeah, people like this are all over the fucking VTubing sphere, and as much as it's maddening to think about that people like this exist and escape accountability because internet bullshit. No one really needs to take that shit all too seriously. But when things that are serious do happen, when you have your sex pests and abusers that are in plain sight and people just fucking ignore them because they happen to be a part of some group that has a certain level of influence and no one does shit about it. Yeah, that's a thing that people should be talking about, and they should be talking about it more and more. None of that should be hidden. People should know, and then they should do with that information whatever the fuck they want, but they should at least be informed about it. That's what I believe. So with that very pessimistic outlook on the world of VTubing, that's the end of it. Thank you for all the super chat, the extra membership. Thank you for coming. Next time, I don't know if we're gonna have that Tessa stream or not. I do know I want to do it at some point, but I will have to dig up some stuff that's very old at this point. But I also have stuff on other people that would probably be worth shining some light upon. So that's something I have to do personally. It's my own work I have to do for this, to make sure it's all nice and tidy when I actually get to streaming about it. But what I want to do next actually is have a brainstorming session with you. Last time I mentioned my desire to do a donathon with the ultimate goal of covering Off-Kai Expo this year, to show it to you guys, so you guys can kind of get involved and get something out of it, so it just doesn't become a vacation for me, so you could kind of get something out of it. And again, if it doesn't work out, I'm just fine with it. I'll just go for myself, and I'll still do some kind of coverage. But again, just a little bit here and there, probably improve the quality of that coverage. But it's all up to you if you want to see something like that or not. It's fine with me either way, so we have to kind of think about what goals to do for a donathon. I've seen all kinds of silly things that VTuber do for donathon goals, which I cannot probably do, but you'll have to wait and see, and what you guys actually want to see, because this is kind of all on you. Do you want to see something like that or not? So with that, I'm gonna play you off with some music. I hope you have a good one, like a good evening, good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you find yourself in. And I hope to see you on the next one, whatever that's gonna be. I have been very consistent with these Saturday streams, which has been nice. Work has been numerous. My hobbies have been even more numerous, so sometimes it's hard to find a little bit of extra time for these streams. But when you do get to talk about people like Silvyspark, I think it's all worth it, because people need to know. I think knowledge is one of the best things you can have in life, and how you use that knowledge turns into wisdom eventually, and use that wisdom to make yourself and the people around you better. So yeah, you guys have a good one. Stay hydrated and stay off Twitter, because it's just getting worse and worse by the day. And I'll see you on the next one. So bye bye.